Are you ready for your next pinball machine? Call Flippin' Out now and choose from the newest and hottest pinball machines from Jersey Jack Pinball, Stern Pinball, Chicago Gaming Company, and American Pinball. Flippin' Out also offers the Escalera stair climbing hand truck. Visit now at flippinoutpinball.com. The wait is over. A revolution in LED lighting for your pinball is finally here. Fully customizable, full spectrum lighting from Pin Stadium Lights. Order yours now at pinstadium.com. Check out Pin Graphics for the latest and greatest in pinball enhancements. Power blades, blade skins, pin blades, and even more. Visit pingraphics.com now to see what's available for your pinball machine. Marco Specialties. Same-day shipping, accessible website, exceptional customer service, and with over 50,000 different pinball parts in stock, Marco Specialties is a must for every pinball enthusiast and operator. Treat your pinball machine right by visiting marcospec.com now.
All right, let's kick this shit.
What are you waiting for?
Alright guys, before we start the video, we've got two cool announcements. The number one announcement, we've got a new sponsor, man. Not just any sponsor, the best pinball parts manufacturer in the world. Marco Specialties. Yeah, Marco Specialties is where I go to get most all of my pinball parts. You know why? Because I can actually understand the website. I go on there, I type in my game, and pages of all of the parts I need for that specific machine.
Well, and they carry a lot of Sega stuff, so I'm there because if it's a target I can't find, I know I can go to Marco's and I can find that target.
It's easy. They sell pinball machines. They sell mods, authorized mods from people, and every hard to find. If you need a hard to find part, it's Marco's gonna have it.
Yeah,
their customer service is just crazy.
I agree.
So Marco Specialties, the team there, thank you for joining the Sdtm group. We love you already, so it was a no-brainer for us when you reached out, right?
Yes.
So go to marcospec.com, order your parts now. I know there's a machine that you've got right now that's got a little frowny on him. He got a little frowny because he's like, my snagger won't work. My snagger won't work. Greg need to order from Marco Specialties, right?
I'll get it up and running.
That's right. So don't neglect that machine. Fix it now with Marco Specialties.
And our second big announcement, we have a new t-shirt coming out.
Oh my gosh. And again, not just any t-shirt, Greg.
We reached out because we're a big fan of his work. We reached out to Christopher Franchi and we said,
Pinball Art God.
What do you think about
us commissioning you out?
Yes,
commissioning you out.
A fresh
logo.
New polished logo.
Not to take place of our logo.
No, just a logo shirt.
A special edition logo shirt.
Something fresh and clean, but very unique.
We gave the people the Kraken LE that we produced ourselves.
Yes.
You guys want to see it? We're so proud of this thing.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so pretty.
Man. Now we gave him we commissioned him out. We gave him full creative authority on it. We said, dude, just make us something that looks cool and says Sdtm on it.
Something smooth. Very polished, refined. And I think he nailed it.
Yeah, we're going to keep those shirts blue too, aren't
we? It's an Sdtm plastic.
I know, and it's a real functioning one. Oh my God.
It's so awesome.
Help us out. We're going to do pre-orders on this, right?
Yes. But it just helps us gauge sizes a little better and gauge quantity and everything. And again, it makes stuff possible like going up to American Pinball. That's trip. Right. It helps out with that. Yeah, it helps us out with new equipment. We actually bought some new lighting and some stuff. Yeah.
So for all you guys that support us and give us donations as well, reach out to us and give us private donations. Thank you so much. It's what keeps us going. But another thing you can do just to wear some Sdtm swag. Oh, Gregory Bone. We get to review another pinball machine, buddy. Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're doing Houdini today.
We are. So Greg and I went up to American Pinball, the new manufacturers of Houdini.
Yes.
And we took a road trip, didn't we?
It was quite a road trip. This
guy right here hung out with me for 6 hours in the car. You loved every minute of it.
Yes, and I was terrified. Every minute of it.
He was so worried, you guys. He was so worried. Every little truck that would come close, he's like, yeah, just watch the road, man. Watch the road.
It's not just every truck. So Zach's like, let's film an episode on the way up. And I was like,
no, let's stream. Well, yeah, let's film.
Yeah, it was filmed first.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm kind of I weigh the pros and cons of hazardous conditions. And, it's kind of slick out. There's some snow and everything. And so, I'm kind of terrified about Zach wanting to do that anyways.
Yeah.
And I've never really ridden with Zach. And so
you guys, pause. He's got a bubble, right? His bubble ventures out about 10 miles from his home. That's where he pretty much goes to the grocery. He goes, eats dinner. He goes to work. It's all within that 10-mile vicinity. The farther you get out of that, the more pissy and cranky and scared and neurotic he gets. So continue.
And this is very true. I can't deny any of it. But so, we met off of 65 because it was closest for us to be able to meet because we live such a weird distance away.
Yeah.
And so of all places, Lowe's, who carries tons of salt, parking lot has never been plowed, never been salted. It's just all ice and snow. So
awesome,
I'm sitting there waiting on Zach. I'm already terrified about waiting with, riding with
scarf
Zach.
on.
And got my scarf on. I'm all sitting there toasty warm. And I see Zach pull in. I'm like, oh, okay, he's here. Next thing I know, I see a gigantic black Suburban coming at me. Whoa, fishtailing all over the parking lot, just smiling.
That's right.
And I'm just a-shaking.
I'm just a-shaking. That is when he took his Xanax, and the rest of the trip was pretty good. So we went up to American Pinball. Those guys invited us up there.
Yes.
Very brave of them, too, because they said, why don't you come up here? We'd love to show you around. You can pick up your machine while you're here, because I was buying a Houdini.
Yes.
And you can review the game. And we said, well, slow your roll, American Pinball. That's awfully brave, first off, because you guys should know we don't hold back. We don't bullshit.
And
people.
we were pretty adamant. We said,
I said we might pan this thing, and they were like, well, they were smart. They're like, number one, you're buying one, so I know you're gonna like it enough to buy it. Number two, Greg might shit on it, but we're going to take that risk. We think we're going to stand behind our product here.
Yeah, and it was very ballsy of them and everything to do. But, we said, we don't really want to review it here because we don't have enough time. We want more time on it. Yeah.
We're not going to bring you guys a review with no time on a machine.
No. So, we were like, we'll hold off on that as cool as that sounds, but we wanted to put more time on it.
God, how brave. That's ballsy.
It was ballsy, yeah. But again, we were up front. So, whatever turns out today.
And we're not going to go up there and sugarcoat anything either.
No, that's for damn sure. We didn't.
No. Because we were even talking about on the way up there, we were like, what if we go up there and we think the operation is junk and we think the machine sucks?
Yeah.
And
how do we present that in the nicest possible way, but still
tell the truth?
Still tell the truth.
We just be us, and we just tell them how
it's a rough thing.
All right, so we're going to get into this, but we did something a little bit different, something a little bit unique that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And I think... we
upped the ante a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to call this... this is a traditional review, but we've added a deluxe overview.
Yes.
And rules explanation by who? By none other than the designer himself, Joe Balser. He gives us an overview here in a minute. And Josh Kugler.
Yes.
He's the software guy and the coder. So he's going to go over the entirety of the rules. So sit back, relax. You're going to learn everything you need to know about Houdini. Then you're going to come back to Greg and I, and we're going to individually rate each section, including art, shots and layout, rules, toys, innovation, music callouts, theme, enjoyability, and an overall rating.
I can't believe after all this time you still got to read what the categories are.
Quick, go ahead.
No, I don't
know.
Go
ahead. We'll see you back in a minute. All right, guys, what's up? This is Zach from Straight Down the Middle of Pinball Show. You guys know this guy, don't you? This is Joe Balser.
Hello.
Designer extraordinaire to some of our favorite machines ever made. South Park. You did South Park. I love South Park. Wizard of Oz. Half of you guys own a Wizard of Oz right now. Apollo 13.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Simpsons Pinball Party.
Pinball Party.
I could keep going on and on. Are those some of your favorites?
Yes, they are.
Very nice. And now the newest game that he designed, the design extraordinaire of American Pinball's Houdini. Wow. Very nice. So what Joe is kind enough to do, he's going to walk us through. You guys know, I usually go through the shots and layout, the different toys, mechs, and stuff like that. But I thought, you know what? I'm kind of a dipshit. Why not go to the expert here himself, Joe Balser? He's going to walk us through it. So, Joe, how's it going, man? Nice to meet you. We met a little bit at Expo.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You were busy. You were super busy at Expo.
Talking with Larry.
Talking with Larry. Yeah, talking with Larry. So, walk us through this, man. If we are looking at this machine, all right, I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on. Let's start from left to right in typical Sdtm fashion. First off, the orbits on this, man, A+. A+. These are reminiscent to me of our boy Greg here is a big Sega man. He loves those Sega games. And it reminds me of those wide open, nice, smooth orbits on a lot of your Sega games. So the orbit itself, what made you go the way it did? What made you put the spinner on this side? Tell us a little bit. Do you love spinners? Tell us a little bit about the orbits of this game.
Well, layout-wise, we were kind of behind the 8-ball back in November of last year, so we had to get on the computer and come up with a layout that was going to work for the Houdini theme. So, a couple of things that I like to have in a game. I do like to have a long loop shot if it's going to fit in the layout. You know, you're limited to 46-inch playfield. We cut off 20 inches of it at our standard.
Okay.
So this all stays, this area, you can only do so much with it. The longest shot on a pinball is going to be the loop shot, so the ball's going to travel the furthest.
Yeah.
Give you the kind of most satisfaction just watching a long loop shot.
It does. It's
That
buttery
worked out.
smooth.
The opening shot to just come across in the targets, it's been done hundreds of times. I use it kind of when I don't want to come up into the shooter lane.
Okay.
I don't have top lanes on the game to shoot from.
That's a good point. That is a good point that a lot of people forget about. There's not those top
there's
rollovers.
No top rollovers on this game. So
what did that
happens,
enable for you, though? If you get rid of those top rollovers.
Well, you get that chunk of real estate back.
Okay, so that's your centerpiece.
Where this guy's sitting would be pretty
That'd be
much
your
an
rollover.
area of rollovers.
So would you guys rather have rollovers or would you guys rather have an awesome theater? Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what we went with.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, the crossover shot's been used before. When you have something like this, you can run into
Oh my God.
geometry works where you can get a little kickback.
How
get the
early
ball
on did you
back
think
in.
about this?
This was done. I probably did this one or two times in the past. I think this was even on South Park. South Park had an opening shot that went up to this area.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to.
It makes it a 3-lane there. So
Yeah.
that center lane's your drain, but if you can get it into these side lanes.
It doesn't happen very
you're safe.
often, but when it does, it's a plus.
Well, it's adjustable too, so that's really nice.
Yeah, you can open this up to be
That's
what
very
used to be
nice.
called liberal.
Oh, is
Which
that
is
right?
actually the opposite these days.
I
But,
didn't know that. So, okay, as we're going from left to right, those are the orbits.
right.
What about our alleys here?
Well, I like on certain layouts. I like to shoot through the pop overs. You'll see that on different designers and different guys do it different ways, whatever. But just shoot through the pops. There's a lot more skill involved to get through there. And on this particular game, the way the layout was working, you have a shot through the pops to this target here.
Oh, so
for the key
satisfying.
shot
So
in
satisfying.
the key lane, but then you have a crossover shot that through the stage alley, it'll cross over, go through the pop bumpers in this angle into the stage. So it's the first time
Great
I've ever
geometry,
been
yeah.
able to, manipulate
Two
the
pass-throughs with a
shots.
crisscross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and they work. You got to hit the shot right. It's not 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to come in at different angles and catch the pop bumper.
That's pinball.
It'll stop it, but as a certain person I know always said, the ball is wild. So,
It's the ball.
but when you make the
right.
shot, it feels good. And once you figure out that there is a crossover shot into the stage, it makes that more of a feel good shot. to take
These
one.
pass-throughs right here just feel very signature to this game, and I think we'll go down. This part right here is very much. Everybody's going to know that's Houdini right there. Those two pass-throughs. I find that in that stage.
I don't know how on layouts over the years. I don't think shooting through the pops and from two directions. I don't think it's been done. I don't know.
No, especially with
It's
that
hard to
curve
say
through the
because-
pops too. That's very neat.
There's thousands of pinballs out there for many
That's true,
years. so
that's true.
It's hard to say that hasn't been done before, but
So let's transition from the pop area, and we're going to talk about the toys here in a minute. But let's transition to this main stage here.
Right.
Tell us what the.
when we
the
talked
thought behind
about
that was.
Houdini, we said most of his illusions. I would probably say most of it. He spent a lot of time on stage. So we wanted to come up with an interactive stage. We had a couple different ideas at first, and it kind of evolved.
Okay.
Hired in a mechanical guy that I've worked with before. Gave him some real estate to work with. Wasn't enough. It never is enough real estate for mechanisms, but we fit it in there. It's done with servos. You bang on the front of the stage, it opens.
Yep.
You shoot into the stage. There's a hidden ball in there where we
I
can do.
love that.
We could show a ball, close the stage, open the stage, the ball's gone.
It's
we
gone.
can open this, close the stage, open it again, the ball's there. And the other thing, it's a kind of a central spot for, getting into modes. It's really integral to the game, and it ties this into what we did with the back glass.
Yeah.
So by this all came together because of the idea of pulling the display up higher
Oh, that's interesting.
and
All
building
right.
it into the back glass. So it kind of makes this guy come alive, especially when the
mimic it.
curtains open and close. And you'll see
It
a
very
lot
much
more.
feels like a stage, especially when it swings. It's not a square, so when it swings open, it's on that arch.
Right.
It feels like a curtain, and like you said, the ball is gone. And now I take it goes through a subway.
Right, there's a subway that drops down, starting out here at the trunk. It goes underneath. It'll pick up the ball coming out of the stage and also pick up the ball coming out of the magic shop. The magic shop's it's a hidden shot.
Yeah.
Although it's not hidden visually because you can see
Yeah.
it, but you can it's not a direct shot.
That's right.
But from the player's aspect, he can take this left shot, come off of this rubber, and go right into
Yeah,
here.
that's what Josh was saying. That's what I love about that shot in
It's
particular.
real random in here,
Yeah.
but you'll get it to
You'll
go
get
in
it.
there.
You
know what
see
I
that
mean?
in '90s. A lot of the '90s games kind of had that.
And it's the same thing with the escape. So the A, P, and E of escape, they're not shot from the flipper, but you're going to pick them up off of the pops.
Okay.
The pops became random. We had a post or two in here to keep the ball more into the pops.
Okay.
But then we realized
Yeah.
let's pull this and see how it works. And we went to a show.
I think it was a good
we
idea.
pulled,
Yeah.
And it opened up everything. And then I changed some angles in here, so a shot off the stage opened up and fell into this hole more often. So we got to make this hole more interactive with the player, even though you can't physically shoot right.
Well, I think it adds to the theme too, because the theme is magic.
Yeah.
And sometimes things happen magically, whether it's the magnets that are magically forcing the ball to go. And
And
where
that's
you
what's
don't
very
know.
cool about this, because
Yeah.
you could drop it in here, left side, a ball could come out this side.
You're not ready for it. Yeah.
Josh can load both sides as a 3-ball mech under the playfield in the
Mm-hmm.
trough and a 3-ball mech here. So
A
we
lot of
can,
staging.
Yeah, you can stage. You can shoot into the right side and come out the left side, or vice versa. Or you might shoot into this side, and a ball will kick into play from the trough. And until Josh gets a handle on where balls are,
Yeah.
he can start playing where he's releasing them
Very
from
cool.
during gameplay.
Now let's move even further, right? We got the ramp. All right. Everybody loves ramps in pinball. What made you think, let's go this ramp, let's give it an exit here, but we need to go in wire form right here. It needs to wave around rather than just hugging this side.
The geometry of this game, I kind of flipped. You're kind of flipping where a ramp normally is.
That's right.
More
That's
outside,
exactly right.
Which takes up this smaller lane. We came through at first. This was all plastic,
I remember playing
but
that
then
one.
after a lot of input and just we take input from people. Some things we can work with. Some things we we kind of table it for another game or another
Yeah.
time. But it was easy enough just to hack it here and put another wire ramp in, and it just opened up this area more.
Well, symmetrically, from an art perspective too, having two wire forms of those flippers
Felt
just
better down there.
it looks and feels.
And you
good
know
there.
yourself, when these things start to yellow and they get old, then
You have
you
flame
got this,
polish
yeah,
and
you got this
everything.
going on here.
We call
so-
American Pinball, buy another ramp.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
That's right. So as we're moving from left to right, we've got the shot that everyone talks about. The pinball community talks about this shot all the time, and I got to tell you, man, I think they're kind of full of crap. This shot is harder to me sometimes than that shot.
Yeah,
that's
true,
satisfying.
too, because that's more.
That feels where it's supposed to be.
Sweet spot of the
That's
flipper.
that's right where I'm accustomed to.
It's small, but it's not unmakeable. And once you start to hit that spot, you can make this all day.
I love the.
I opened
tightness
it
of
up
that.
a little bit. We tweaked it from show to show. We got
Okay.
to watch people play, watch some frustration, but then watched another guy come up next and shoot it 3 times in a row, and the guy that missed it 15 times is shaking his head. So.
Well, there's got to be a payoff too, because you're getting a theatrical moment there.
Right.
It's going into this, then it's jumping up the vuck and it's going over to the milk can, then it's got the catapult and it's. So I think it's got to be a payoff. I like how tight, because you don't want to hit that dang thing 20 times a game.
And it's a good feed shot, like you said, to start everything
Of
moving
course.
for the catapult shot, and you get it around because we got a pin up here that stops or lets the ball through.
Oh, I forgot
So
that.
you
Yeah,
got a 3-ball
you
lock
can load
here.
your multi.
So,
yeah.
So you're locking and loading this guy, this 3-ball, or you're shooting it into the vuck, which is
I like that.
just knocks it in.
Now, then we can go down to the scoop here. What's the scoop responsible for? What are we doing there? Are we starting? You start seance there, of course.
Right. I mean, the scoop is the
Starting
end of,
some
is
mission
the, end
kind of
of the
stuff, or-
subway and the under trough. That's where it feeds to. It feeds to a super buck here and fires out.
Okay.
It starts your seance mode. It starts your what else starts up in here? I mean, your
So
extra
secret
ball is
missions,
there.
extra
your
balls are
missions
there.
are all done through here.
So it's a crucial scoop, and it's
and
not
it's-
just a scoop that sits right here. I mean, that's like you said, the
Yeah, it's
exit
dropping down
through
3
subway.
inches.
Yeah. I really like
And
that.
it's a sweet spot once you get to it. It's out on the end of the flipper. It's not too far out. And once you get that shot, you make it all day.
Okay. Now, before we go down to this region here, talk to us about the first ever in pinball, these little, thin, stand-up targets. How did that come about? Whose
Everybody
idea
talks
was
about
that?
The first ever in pinball, but
Yeah.
all we did was take the 1/2-inch targets and mill them down an 1/8 or a 16th on the side. That came to be when this shot at shows, and actually this shot too, these 2 shots, where people felt they were tighter than they need to be, and it's only a 1/16th of an inch more.
Yeah.
But like on a shot like this, I pick up an 1/8 of an inch on
That's
the width.
You can
I
add a
pick
shot
up
in
an
there.
1/8 of an inch on this width, just because this is a 16th shorter on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And all we did was take the target. We had them milled down to the size of the blade.
Okay.
You can't go any smaller because the
No,
blade's
that's
3/8 of an
yeah.
inch. So I mean, that's all we did with this, and then the target was retooled, and we accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Will I ever go back to the 1/2-inch targets? Probably not. I mean,
Oh, really?
Why?
That's interesting.
Why, when I can get away with this, and it's not.
It serves the same purpose.
Yeah.
And you
It
know what I
doesn't
like
take as
about
much.
these better than anything else? They're better in a post. A post doesn't give
Yeah,
you any points.
post
It doesn't
does
give you anything. A lot of people told me that you like the implementation of targets more than you do posts.
I
and
don't like
stuff.
shooting at posts.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
I mean, if you look at this particular game, this layout, you have 1, 2. I got 2 posts I can shoot at.
yeah.
You
2
go
thuds.
to, there's a lot of layouts there.
And
where
anything
you
else,
got-
your own fault, right?
Yeah, anything else. I mean, anything else, you're going to catch a target.
Yeah.
That's why we.
And
kinda
you're going
made-
towards seance or
Yeah,
something.
it's kind of why we made Seance is more of the easiest
The
multi-ball
novice
to get
comes
to.
up. Yeah. They get the excitement of magnets and everything. Let's talk about the magnets. Did you help decide? Hey, we need magnets in this game. We need 3 magnets. We need to position them.
We talked about putting magnets in, and then when Jeff had, I think we worked with Jeff to, once we put the magnets in off of these targets, the magic targets, we put them out in front.
That's what
And then when
Josh was
Jeff
saying,
was
yeah.
developing the art, we talked about putting
It
the
all come
hands under there.
together.
So it all kind of drew itself together. We were looking at hit a target and activate your magnets, and that's what we're doing now, and kind of perfected the way that's working. Especially on this game,
Yeah.
working with magnets, it's you hit it, you pulse it, you don't know what it's going to do.
Sure.
If you do a certain thing in code, you can catch a ball, let it drop, and shoot it up into a lane. It's been done. We've seen it.
The
This
shadow
is
knows.
Yeah, this is there. You go. This is more. It's just random,
Yeah.
but it does some crazy stuff that makes you think.
Well, what I like about this is instead of just a lot of times we'll see magnets implemented during multi-ball. It's been done. Adam's family. It's been done. But what we got here is we've got targets that actually hit, and it'll. I like that. That's
You'll
nice.
see him spin around and shoot up into this.
Oh,
You'll
nice.
see it spin around
Very
and,
nice.
and make it into the Melcan multiplier shot. It does some crazy things that you can't even duplicate. But when it happens, you go, "Did you see that?" And it's
like,
time.
whoa,
It's
wait a
over
minute.
unless you're got the instant replay going. You're not going to see it again. So.
What about the milk can shot? Now this is an interesting shot. This one's the one that makes me mad, Joe. I'm not gonna lie. This is the one that crawls me up a little bit. Right. It is a tough shot, but what I do like about it is it's smooth. A lot of these little orbits here, the little wraparounds, they're clunky. Yeah. This one, it's so smooth that once I notice it's in there, it's already at the flipper.
It's there,
I like that. Yeah. I like that. What made you want to implement that?
Was I wanted to put something there, without just having targets there.
That's what it'd be on a lot of machines.
Another VUC or whatever. So we made that shot work. It's a short little shot, but it feeds this most of the time. And if you do shoot this and it somehow bounces around and drops in the out lane, we are gracious enough to give you the ball back.
Oh, so you give a couple second little ball save there.
We know that that's what just happened, so we'll get you a ball save on that. But
my pinball partner Greg appreciates that because he needs all the ball saves he can get.
Right,
all the ball saves he can get. All right, so I do like that inner orbit. So everybody wants to know. This is the catapult shot.
Yeah, correct.
Let's talk about this catapult. What's the size of this thing? What's the
trail
throwing?
was like 22 inches.
22 inches. We're not tossing it, are we?
No.
No. This the inside lane here feeds the VUC. The VUC will shoot it up into what we're calling the catapult.
Right.
Okay. The catapult then creates the spectacle where you're going to see the spotlight go off and it's shaking, and all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, the crate opens up. The catapult chucks the ball 22 inches midair without hitting the glass, without hitting anything else, and it goes perfectly into the trunk.
Yes, it does.
Hot damn. Where did that come from? What the hell is that?
Well, I've said it before, with the layout that I did with using the catapults, we had a couple of, or like a whitewood that was out there early on with a catapult on it, and it was not in a layout that was going to work for anything.
Yeah.
But I fired it up and was just letting it fire, and I noticed that it was hitting within half an inch or so.
Not bad.
3/4 of an inch, except if the power went weird or whatever. But it looked like it was close enough that we could capture that.
You thought we could work with this?
And when I did Space Jam, there was a jump ramp that went to the basket back here.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I do.
And it was pretty much 100% because you shot that ramp at least with the right velocity, and the magnet would catch it.
It caught it and
drop
go
it
through the hoop.
basket every time. The problem with that is you beat to death this back panel.
They get
We
ugly,
tried
don't
everything.
they?
We put in plastic pieces, all kinds of things to protect it. But if you get to a Space Jam that's still out there playing, that basket is beat to death no matter what. So that was not an option. I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
Even though I know it worked, there's no way to cushion that shot.
Us collectors appreciate that.
Well, you take a
Look for the
pinball and
aesthetics.
smash it up against something a couple thousand
ball bearing,
times,
yeah,
and
you're gonna break
beat
stuff.
it to death.
Yeah.
So when I came up with the idea, we thought about having certain elements in Houdini. One of them was a steamer trunk, as you know, you could pick it up in the back glass of the artwork. This was all
magic steamer
all
trunk,
talked about for that era that he was in, the steampunk tie that we did to it, and kind of made it our own. I just laid it in there, and we put the whitewood together, and there was no backup plan. So, to tell you the truth, I went with this catapult here, and then I thought, why not? Let's throw another one here.
If we're gonna do one, let's just
And
do
throw
two
it across the front of the trunk into another ramp, and it just worked out in the layout, geometrically worked out. And I'm only working on 2D AutoCAD, but I was able to do a trajectory of what I thought would work. And
Did you break any glasses?
No, and we kind of rolled the dice. We worked a couple of really long days putting together game to work and test this, and I was out of the office. It was late. I was out of the office, and Josh and Jim and a couple other guys, whatever, were here. Finally got that to fire and sent me a video, and it wasn't working at all.
Oh.
And this ramp had this type of a lip,
Uh-huh.
all the way around, kind of standard. And the ball was smacking into the wall, and it was not making it. And they showed me this video, and I'm like, oh boy,
We have no backup
we
plan.
have problems.
Yeah.
Well, let's get in there and see what we got to do. And we started to trim this away and started to watch the trajectory. And once we got this ramp trimmed, it hit. And, it was messing with pulse. And the first one went in, and it was like we just won the World Series.
Yeah, I guarantee you. That's a winning shot right there.
Once the timing was right, and this popped open, and that was through the air, it was making it, and now we're at 95% plus.
Oh, man.
And, hopefully that gets better. Once it's set...
Regardless, it's hard to find a mech
pretty
that's
good.
that consistent.
Right.
This is pinball. This is coils. This is all kinds of random firing. So that's good. Even just simple geometry and physics says if you want to go 22 inches on something, you better have a hell of an arch on it. You don't have no arch because you got
None of
glass.
us really thought about how big the shot would be.
Yeah.
Everything, we were all focused on what the stage mech would
That's
be.
right.
And this is just a simple one coil mech that just opens and closes a box.
Yeah.
But
And look at
putting
this
it
catapult
together,
kind of trying to shadow that main stage there.
Yeah, and it shocks people when it happens, and that's all they want to talk about.
I've seen it at least 50 times, and it still shocks me. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a bullet.
I'll play the game and go, okay, is it going to...
That's right. He's still nervous.
be all right?
He got it again. He got it again. Very nice.
And there's a lot of variables that have to be right to make that happen.
Well, you said we talked about, you were telling me, as I set it up in the home, different power sources and stuff, new owners or new locations. Might need to adjust that a little bit, but once properly adjusted,
you're good.
Pretty accurate. Yeah, very, very accurate. I like that. So as we're looking at toys now, so that's a basic layout, you guys. But as we're looking at toys, man, where do we begin? Let's start with these. I love these. You got the chains, you got the custom molded gears on top of the pop bumpers there. You've got not just any lock. You guys could have formed just a generic lock. These are 3 unique, nice locks with chains. So who did some of the toys on this?
Right. This all has to do with Matt Reister.
Oh yeah, we like Matt's work from Back Alley Creations.
Yeah, with Back Alley.
Yeah.
And I've been working with Matt for several years now, and when we sat down and
On
talked about
Oz,
this,
right?
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, he did all the sculpting on there.
Hobbit.
Hobbit, he did all the sculpting for Hobbit. And that's when I got to know Matt and got to be friends with him and understand. He understands what I'm doing. I understand what he does. And we kind of work together well on what we see for this thing. We were just in a meeting throwing stuff around, and it came up with we were working with the locks and the artwork.
Okay.
So it was time to take those locks and put them on the game somewhere. And the warehouse, this is the best place to do it because pop bumpers are on a game. You have free movement. It's either this is solid and the ring pops up and down, or the whole mech pops up and down.
Yeah.
So then it just kind of evolved between the art that was coming from Jeff and what he was doing down here with the locks. And if you notice, these 3 locks are 3 locks that are on the game down here.
That's what's cool, yeah. It's that integration again.
And the steampunk aspect of it is where all the gearing comes in, because steampunk is all about gauges and gearing and chains.
Wore out kind of industrial feel.
Industrial feel. So and then the chains were just in the middle of the night. I was just perusing the net and looking for plastic chain.
Yeah.
And ran into a place that had a couple different sizes. Ordered some, brought them in. And they popped right on. We had
almost too easy.
We had some chrome chain that I had in early on.
I think I remember that at one of the shows.
Yeah, they were on the earlier shows.
Okay.
And then we just found that to match the art better, the solid chrome that was more like our wire ramps really didn't.
Took away from
it took away from the aged look to this. So
what I like about this, a lot of people think as the game is playing that these are metal chains because of the sound implementation when Josh has got in there. But no, they're they're durable. They're not going to go.
plastic.
Yeah, they're plastic.
You know.
But they look so
Had a little
good.
open space here, so we threw another piece on there. So.
Oh, details among this game are just insane. So we got free moving pop bumpers. I like that. This mech we've kind of talked about. Tell me a little bit about so we talked about the stage, but what made you say, you know what, stage alone, we want a screen right here?
Right, and early on we had the screen turn 90 degrees going up and down.
I remember that, yeah. Which I was fine with that too, but this so much better.
It was kind of through expediency. We had that small window to get it out. And, you know, there was a couple of things behind it, why we turned it 90 degrees to start out with. I won't get into those details right now, but this was the way it should have been, because being a marquee, it works best for for this being a theater.
Yeah.
So, you know, some of the old banners that were out, you'll see they're long and, you know, they're long in this direction.
I got you.
And that was working for us, but once we made this change and everybody bought into the change,
that's
it was kind of the way to go. You know, to put the running marquee lights in the monitor and just make it come alive that way. It just worked best, and we were able to fit better things up in here.
It's very cool. The other toys we have is just a sculpted milk can here.
Yep.
We've got the sculpted, what's this, a
No,
Ouija
this is
cursor?
actually a laser cut wood.
I know.
It's actually
feel of
wood.
it.
So,
Yeah, it feels great.
yeah, it's a laser cut planchette.
Planchette,
There's
thank
the
you.
word of the day.
I hear her saying that in
Yeah.
there all the time. The planchette.
Yeah.
Okay, what does this indicate? What are we doing with the spirit?
Well,
there?
it all works with the
Okay.
seance letters. So all the
Gotcha.
seance letters are the planchettes, and you're shooting those, and this will come
Planchettes.
alive for you to shoot this shot.
Very good. And then you guys thought we need some spotlights, light up this game. Why don't we just do those reflective cones in there? No.
Right.
We need to make this look very Houdini-esque. So you sculpt the theater lights.
Right.
Those look like they fit in the game, like they're supposed to be there.
Well, if you look at the art, these actually, the 3D of this lamp came from what was in the art from
Oh,
Jeff.
cool, the plastic back there,
If
yeah.
you look at, once you guys get to the game,
Yeah.
and you buy one and you play
That's
it,
right.
it's in the art here. So Matt, again, I said, Matt, let's turn this into theater lights for the game. We had 4 areas that we thought were a little dark. Obviously, in front of here, we wanted to pop more light back here in this whole area.
Okay.
We changed the art to lighten up the background and everything with Houdini here, but it needed more light.
Okay.
I had 4 of these on the game, but these are kind of big, and once you put that on
They're-
here, it just got big,
Yeah.
and you didn't
I kind of
see
like
it.
how discreet that is.
Yeah, you didn't see it, and here, you know, you're under a ramp and everything, so
Yeah.
we just took the standard lamps and
Well, you still even
had
colored them,
painted.
too.
Yeah, we painted
Yeah.
them.
It's that fine detail in
Yeah.
Houdini that I can really appreciate, and the reason that I bought this very one right here. Last thing before we go, a screen. Now this would be your 3rd screen, LCD screen that you've worked on in pinball.
Yeah, because we, at JJP when we did Wizard of Oz, that was one of the game changers we wanted to make was to go to the LED screen.
Okay. All right.
And I was able to fit a 20. This is the standard back box width. You're able to fit a 26 or 27 inch
Yep.
monitor in there, and it takes up most of your backlights.
That's right.
But when you use it right, and I do believe they use it right, you could fill that up with some beautiful stuff going on.
Okay. I think it's a.
But coming here, I
proportion.
didn't want to go with that size. I wanted to go smaller. This is a 15.6. So, you'll see this size down lower in a panel, the whole 9 yards. But that kind of takes up. Once you move this down and make a panel, then your art area is a lot smaller too. So to slide it up and make it part of a stage was just the absolute way to go.
What I love about this is I can confidently say this is one of the most beautiful back glasses in pinball, and it's an LCD monitor
Yeah,
integration too.
yeah.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Anytime you put an LCD screen in there, like you said, it takes away so much of the art, but this incorporates the art into the
Yeah,
main
we had
stage.
some fun doing it. This is a bunch of people that are here.
Oh, and they come up and over.
Yeah, you
Oh,
kind
my
of make
God.
it look like you're looking up from an audience.
Now the head's funky.
Yeah.
The head is funky.
A
Or
little
are we
funky.
hiding a bunch of speakers in here?
Yeah, all your sound is in the head. We don't
Okay.
have a bass speaker in the cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Kind of felt that, you're losing a lot of that. So we wanted to pop everything up here and throw it at the player.
All right.
The reason for the shape on the sides, I mean, you can go back into the 80s and 90s, and we messed around with the side panels a lot. And then to get more into a money saving thing, then you just square it off and make it simple.
Yep.
And it stayed that way for a long time. The thing that I was interested in doing here is we found these chase lights that go into T-mold.
I read the interview on This Week in Pinball.
Yeah, and we tried it here, and I really liked the look of it. You know, if I put 100 pinball machines out on the street and lit them all up, this one would
That's
pop
gonna stand
because it would
out,
have this. So that was kind of our initial idea to do it. We didn't want to pop all kinds of colors like you're seeing here. It would be more, you know, my idea was more for kind of chase light marquees
lighting, yeah.
that is just kind of always running. And then you could use color schemes, and if you got a shot on the right, you might be able to control this right and get interactive with it.
Yeah.
You know, we had a small window to work with, and it just
Ultimately
didn't
make
get in there. And for the cost of doing it, will we do it someday? You know, I hope to say that we would, or
It's
make
still
it
a possibility. It's
or
nothing you're,
something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, nothing you're pushing right now. You're trying to get machines out.
But I wanted to do something as a startup that was different.
Yeah, yeah.
That people would recognize.
Boy,
it
oh
as
boy,
a
does this
different
not
look,
stand
you
out.
know,
I mean,
so-
everything's premium on this. One last thing before we leave that I've got to ask.
Yeah.
Strangest thing in the world. I was supposed to ask about this because I asked. There's this monkey here. It's so strange, and it's got a bandage right on his crotch.
Right.
What the hell is that?
Well, I don't want to get into details, and to give you guys something.
You don't want to get into
do,
details of
but go ahead
monkey
and
crotches
Google.
today?
Go ahead and Google that.
Google what?
Houdini
What are you getting me into,
and
Joe?
Monkey balls.
Okay, we're going to monkey balls.
And
Houdini
you'll
monkey
get
balls.
your answer.
Houdini
Everyone,
monkey balls from Joe Balls.
www.
And then you're going to be put on a list. Probably.
But yeah, it's there's
Okay.
there's
a reason behind.
There's a reason behind
All right.
it. There's a reason that Houdini is tied to this.
Okay. He finds his way over here too.
Yeah, he's there.
This monkey's pushing the ball into the catapult
You
too.
might see him. We have blades for the game also.
I will be one of the first
that he
buyers of those.
shows up
I will be,
on
yeah.
our blades. He's just kind of become our little mascot for the game. So
I love it.
You know,
Anything
why
else
not?
that I missed that you think would be important for us to know about American Pinball's Houdini?
it's, you know, a lot of people put a lot of effort into this in a short amount of time. And
Yes, they do.
you know, when you let people work and you're not restrained and people know what they need to do and how they need to get there, that's what made this happen.
That's cool.
You know, you can sit around, if this were any other company at that point, you could sit around and we could change and tweak the old word of the pinball industry and tweak this thing for another year before we were going to release it.
And nobody to get machines.
But, you know, we got lucky. I spent extra time. I don't know if it's extra time or just really focused on the layout. There isn't a lot of changes from the original pencil, or not pencil, but the original line,
Okay, kind of, yeah.
line and circle drawing. It hasn't changed. The flat rail is the same flat rail from day one, and most of these are, you know, this area I opened up a little bit, so we may have lost a flat rail and put a ball guide in and open it up. But
Which normal person like
mechanically,
myself,
this is just, we didn't do a lot of changes, and there weren't parts of it that we said, that's not working. We got to fix that, and then you add another month.
yeah.
Or another 2 months,
delayed,
or
yeah.
whatever. And then you don't know how well it's going to shoot because we really don't have a lab to even build another whitewood at the time.
That's right.
And as a matter of fact, I don't know if Josh brought it up or whatever, but we skipped the whitewood. We didn't
I've
even build a
heard, yeah.
whitewood. So
And that's just insane to think
We
about.
had a whitewood.
Every pinball development has a whitewood.
yeah, and we had a whitewood, and all we did was used it for form and fit.
Yeah.
Make sure the ball guides fit, the flat rails fit, the plastics were right, whatever. But it never got built, wired, and played. So I can say that's a first for
Oh,
me doing
yeah.
a bunch of games. You just
Makes
did
you
not
nervous,
build a
too.
whitewood. We said, let's just skip it. We don't have time.
We got to get to Texas.
And, you know, we printed and we went, and it worked.
Okay.
So,
Very nice.
And it's hard, getting that experience and guys with enough experience to pull this off that weren't hired and working full time for the other guys. I don't know how we got there. With that,
not only did you
hanging
get
over our
here,
head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not only did you get there, you got there in the most excellent way, in my opinion, possible, which is why I'm the new happy owner of this. So this is Joe Balser. He calls it luck. I call it a lot of experience and some damn good skill. This is Straight Down the Middle of Pinball Show with Zach and Joe Balser. Thanks again, Joe.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Enjoy your game.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach from Straight Down the Middle of Pinball Show. This is Josh Kugler. We're here at American Pinball, and what he's going to do, he's such a nice guy. He's the coder, I guess, coder is what you would call yourself of Houdini?
Sure.
Coder.
We'll go with that. Coder.
Software design, coder.
Sure, all those are good words.
All those are good. So he's going to go through kind of basic codes and gameplay on this. If you went through the entire rule set, I think we'd be here for a long time.
Probably.
That's one of the things that makes this game so distinct and so unique, beautiful, and we'll talk about it later. Greg and I will review the code. But for now, what I'm looking for, Josh, if somebody's walking up to Houdini, so if we're doing like a Houdini 101, what do people need to look for? What do they need to be shooting for? What modes do they need? Talk a little bit about what they're looking for. Basic code set on Houdini.
Okay, great. So Houdini is a mode-oriented game.
Okay.
Sort of, in many ways, it's a 90s style game where it's
My
kind
favorite.
of mode-driven
Love it. Yeah.
with a couple of multi-balls that sort of run in parallel to that. And then some of the modes have a multi-ball element as well.
Cool.
And there's two sets of modes, or what we call stage modes, and those take place here at the stage.
Okay,
and
so we got
those
stage modes.
And those are based on Houdini's escapes.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 10 of those there, and as the display
10
goes
of those.
by,
Okay.
you're able to see which one is currently selected. It has to do with when you open it, that's the one you get. Well, there's a enhancement coming on that down the road. And there's one screen that'll show you kind of your status on the 10. If you actually hit that one, then you kind of get a random selection.
Perfect.
Then there's 5 modes based on his movie, so perfect timing.
Okay.
So
So 5 modes based on the films.
the film. So Houdini
Perfect.
was a movie star,
Yeah.
one of the earliest movie stars in silent film. He has a walk on a star on the Hollywood Walk
didn't
of
know that.
Fame,
I didn't know
based
that.
on
Nice.
not being for a magician, but for his movie
Film
career,
work.
which is
Wow,
strange
I didn't
enough.
know that.
And so I've watched all 5 movies. I do not recommend them whatsoever. The Grid
What's the
game,
running time
the
on some
Grid
of these
game
movies?
is pretty good. Most of them are like only an hour and 15, so
Ugh.
they're not
Are
real
they silent?
long.
Silent
They're all
films?
silent
Silent
movies. So
films?
the big downside there was when I was watching them, I actually had to watch them.
It's-
It's not like I could be working on
Yeah,
stuff
listen
and
to
kind
them.
of be listening. And I actually watched some of them twice, because I watched them the first few weeks I started on the
Yeah.
project to get familiar. But then months later, when I actually went to go work on those modes, I'm like, what happened in that
You're like,
movie?
oh.
And so I sort of skimmed through them again.
So five
So there's 5
film-based
based on the
modes.
movie modes, and those get triggered from here, which is actually off this inner loop shot.
Okay, all right.
So that's how those get triggered, and you can see we have, here a little movie reel.
So the reel, okay, signifies that.
Right, and
Good.
you start, I guess you take it back, so you light those by spelling film here at the lanes.
Makes sense to me.
Right, there is a setting if you want to have that start lit at the start, which
Okay.
we've done at a couple of the shows, so people have a chance to get to that mode.
Yeah.
And then opening the stage, as we talked about, there's a couple of different ways to open the stage. You can just pound it, kind of the
Bash it,
traditional,
yeah.
bash it all day. You can shoot this shot
I
here.
love this shot, yeah.
That we call a stage alley,
Okay.
and it'll be referred to that way in the game.
Right through the pops.
Right, and if you hit it through there, it'll immediately open the first time you hit it. This red target here, we call this the key stand-up target. If you
Okay.
hit a straight shot right through the pops, it'll immediately open. If it's not an immediate shot,
Mm-hmm.
but plays off the pops, it takes like 3 hits to open.
That's a tough shot. That is, I
The
love it.
straight
Very
through.
satisfying.
And that was the original intent when I first started and Joe had the layout. He basically had 3 thoughts in mind.
Mm-hmm.
One was, okay, we have this stage where he performs this act. And he goes, you collect keys to do the act. And we sort of moved away
Yeah.
from that. But that was his initial concept with that. And we had the trunk. So originally, okay, it was that. And I'm like, yeah, people are never going to get this
That's
open.
tough, yeah.
And I said, plus the natural inclination is to bang it. So we
That's true.
changed it to make it into more of a bang toy. And then over time, we said, oh, I should make this shot more valuable. So we
That's
added
right.
it there.
It's the
So-
best of both worlds.
so we
there, too.
evolved it a little bit to make sure you can get the mode started. It's actually pretty easy.
So that's
to
kind of
start a
your
mode.
centerpiece, your starting modes through that. You can
Yeah.
either start them by banging on the curtain a number of times, or you can go through the stage pass is what you call it?
Right,
Or
stage alley.
alley.
All right, so
hit it once.
We
and
call
then-
this one key lane, this one stage alley.
Key lane,
and they're
stage
labeled,
alley.
and it just helps a little bit. If you say left orbit,
Yeah.
right orbit, people know what that is.
We know what those are.
But we
Ramp,
sort
we
of
know
felt
what that
like
is.
we needed to name, and we.
I think it's a great idea.
We were going to name the ramp, and then we couldn't come to an agreement. I said, okay, we're just leaving it as the ramp.
Ramp. That's simple.
The ramp.
So we've got 10 modes.
Right.
We've got 5 film modes.
Right.
There's more.
There's more.
There's
right.
more
That's
stuff
right.
in this.
So, well, ultimately, your goal is to spell Houdini. So there's actually 7 different sets of objectives you can pursue in the game.
Okay.
So the stage modes is one.
All right.
And you earn a Houdini letter by completing all 10.
Oh,
or in the
geez.
settings, you can change it to be anywhere from 5 to 10.
Yeah.
And you can say, so you could potentially earn 2 Houdini letters
Okay.
there, which might be a good thing because
We'll do that setting for Greg.
missions.
Greg needs that kind of setting.
Right, so we put in a lot of settings because it is a very deep game and a very wide game,
Yeah.
and you want people to be able to get to the end.
That's true.
I've made it one shot from Valinor.
that right?
Haven't gotten it. It was a shot. It went. The ball didn't bounce. I never got to hit the flipper, and I
How'd you react to that?
I was depressed and shocked. I didn't
I
play.
guarantee
Didn't touch the game for like 3 months.
Oh, I guarantee you.
Again, because I didn't even get to touch the ball. It went and hit the Shire. It bounced out, went straight down the middle.
That's
and
right.
I was just like standing there in disbelief. I'm like,
You're that close. I've not even got close.
Right there.
I'm not even-
So you want people to be
So
able
it's
to
super
get
deep,
there.
yeah.
So we added in the settings. There's a lot of ways to kind of
So 7
simplify
tasks to spell Houdini.
Right.
Where does that lead you?
So the stage is the first. Well,
Okay.
if you ultimately spell 7, you get to the Master Magician mode.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so there's 3 mini magician modes, and I'll touch on those as we
Okay,
get to
great.
those components, and then the master magician mode.
Okay.
So the stage will get you a Houdini letter.
Gotcha.
Completing all 5 movies will get you a Houdini letter, and also gets you to a mini magician mode
Okay.
called the Houdini movie binge.
Okay.
So it's a mode that incorporates all the 5 movies.
Yeah.
And the points are heavily driven by how you did when you did the 5 movies. So you don't
Interesting.
have to successfully complete them, but based on how the points you accumulated there is sort of what funnels
Mm-hmm.
into the mini magician mode. So if you did well, then the mode becomes worth a lot more. The third item is Seance Multi-Ball. So there's
Oh,
2
people love that.
multi-balls. Seance Multi-Ball you get by spelling Seance, which is these thin targets.
Yeah.
So when Joe first put the play field up and we were looking at it, he's a big fan of not just having posts. You'll find there's practically no posts in
If you're
this
hitting,
game.
you're hitting something.
You're getting some value out of it. And the reality is if you're not hitting the shots, you're going to hit those. So the thought was, okay, let's tie that into a multi-ball because people who aren't particularly good at pinball,
Yeah.
they're going to hit those targets. So let's give them some reward for doing that.
That's really smart. I like that.
And at one point, he actually made a tweak because I needed one more target to be able to spell seance. So he made a slight adjustment someplace so I
Very
could
nice.
have my 6
You
targets.
got your 6.
And he was very accommodating on that one. Sometimes I ask Joe for things, he says that's not happening. And sometimes I ask her for things, he's like, no problem.
We
I'll
can
do that for you."
manage that.
So you spell seance there, and then it gets started here at the scoop. And the nice thing, again, if you don't have the skills to hit this, invariably just off the slingshot, you'll get it.
Yeah.
That's a 3-ball multi-ball, and that's when the
The
magnets,
magnets go
become active.
crazy on that. Yeah.
So there's 3 magnets in the game. There's one under each hand, and then there's
Perfect
one below
position.
the eyes. Well, actually, the art was done after we placed the magnets.
Oh.
So we came up, Joe and I were looking at we knew we needed to put magnets in the
Yeah.
game. We had the blueprint up on a wall or the CAD diagram and figuring where to put it. We said, well, let's put them near these targets, which we now call the magic stand-up targets, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. So we could kind of trigger the magnets off of that, and then we got with the artist. We said, okay, could we do put his hands
Something,
there?
yeah, because you got 2
And-
big circles here and a big circle kind of there.
Right, and because we were playing around with different art, obviously for the back glass and for this, and we kind of described that, and he did a great job of making it work.
That's perfect.
The
yeah.
chain link concept came in at that time as well. We talked about if we do the
Okay.
chains, we can put inserts in there to do some tracking on that. So that all came together nicely. So Seance Multi-Ball. So again, for the novice, you're going to probably start it
enough
without
targets.
skills.
Yeah.
Boom, magnets, multi-ball, great.
It's very satisfying. Yeah.
The second multi-ball, which also, a couple of jackpots during Seance will earn you a Houdini letter.
Okay.
And there is a progress screen if you hold both flippers in. Once we start up a game, you can see that. That'll show you that progress of each of these different areas towards earning your
Okay.
letters. So the other multi-ball that's running in parallel is Trunk Multi-Ball.
Okay.
So this is the tight inner loop
Love
shot.
that shot.
That's not as tough as people
Nope.
think.
I'm having a harder time hitting the ramp shot than I am that.
This is clearly a psychological thing
Yeah.
for people. They look at it, they think it's short. And by the way, off the backhand, I can hit that probably 90%.
Oof.
Just cradle it, that backhand.
I'm not there yet.
And that just, it feels nice. Once you get the feel for that,
shot's very
it's really
satisfying.
consistent. And it is. And then, that feeds, it's sort of like a little bit of a Rube Goldberg thing. That you
Yeah.
have the shot to here that goes to the buck, that goes to the catapult.
It's a presentation. It'll
that
put it
throws
in here, and then you
Right.
got your next step.
Well, and it's the money shot. So
That's
you
right.
sort of want to
Uh-huh.
have that build up to it. Or, that was one of the things we kept looking, how do we bring more attention to it, which is why the reason we had the
spotlight goes
here
on. The coating's
was
great
to,
with
to
that.
really
Yeah.
bring that to attention. So you, if the lock is lit, that locks it. 3 gets you a multi-ball. It's the stage alley shot will relight the lock.
Gotcha.
So again, very typical of your
Yeah.
90s kind of light lock,
Enable,
lock.
yeah.
And again, there is a setting to determine if it's lit at the start of the game, which is the default. You sort of, the first time you hit that shot, you better get the catapult.
right.
You'd be real bummed. You hit the tough shot, you don't get the
you
catapult.
don't
You'd be
get
like,
it.
"What's going on?"
Yeah.
So definitely want that.
So you lock 3
that-
balls through that to start your trunk multi-ball.
Right,
Okay.
and again, and the both multi-ball, seance, and trunk can be stacked with stage modes and movie modes.
Perfect.
You do have to start those modes first. Once
Of course,
multi-ball
then you
starts,
open-
you
yeah,
can't.
then
But
open
you
up your
can then
multi-ball.
stack. So one of the best stacks.
So
is-
you can stack or you can stack the stage mode and a film mode.
No, those
No.
run independent of each
Okay.
other.
So you
Once
can use
one is
one of
started-
them to use,
Right.
and then open a multi-ball stack.
Exactly.
Those. Perfect.
So like needles, which is the trick where he puts
Pulls
needles
the
in
needles,
thread,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
drinks it, pulls it out, which is sort of like your frenzy. Every switch is valuable. It's
Yeah, you
obviously
hear
a
that,
great
that
one.
sound too.
Right, that tinging
Yeah,
sound.
I love that. Yeah.
So I think it was in Texas. The volume on that was a little loud. You could hear it across the room.
Ting.
And for those of us standing like right next to the game all day, it was like that night.
If I
Okay,
hear
lower
one
the
more
volume
ting,
on that. Make that
that's it.
lower. And Joe's like, make that lower. Got it. I will do that. So movies, stage, seance, trunk multi-ball. All right. Next up are secret missions.
Oh.
Houdini was a spy for the government. Now, not everybody believes that. It's never been proven.
Mm-hmm.
My attitude is, well, if he was a spy, it's not like he was telling
You wouldn't,
people.
yeah, you wouldn't know about it.
So we're going with it. We
Mm-hmm.
decided we would go with that. And so the secret missions are a set of 5 combo shots. You actually
I remember these. Yeah.
you actually start one, and only one is active at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to complete the first combo before you can move to the next. And naturally, they get tougher and tougher, and the values increase. Complete all 5, earn a Houdini letter, and there's also a mini magician mode for that as well.
Oh, jeez.
That is probably the hardest thing to do in the game.
thing.
And you can lower the number you need to earn the Houdini letter,
Okay.
and like I said, you can earn 2 Houdini letters at the stage and also at the magic shop.
So let's say you open up one of the secret modes, right? And it requires combos. How many combos do you have to complete that one secret
All right, so
mode?
each mission is 1 combo shot. So for example,
Okay,
the first
that's
one,
doable.
the
That's
first
doable.
secret mission is ramp and back to the scoop.
That's
You know,
doable.
Not too easy. And what's nice about that, then it immediately is gonna start in your next
The second one, okay.
And the next one.
You get that milk can, and that's what screws me up. This inner milk can.
Right, well, that one comes in
Oh.
much later, so there's no combo shot that
Okay,
uses the
thank
milk
you.
can. It's
Thank
like,
you, Josh.
I think the last one uses the milk
Oh.
can. I think the second combo shot
That's
is
evil.
then ramp, orbit, scoop.
Oh, that's 3.
Right, so it moves to a 3-shot combo. And then there's a couple of 3s. Eventually you get to like a 5-shot
Oh,
at the
jeez.
end. And that's what I'm saying, getting to that last one's gonna be required.
That's
So
what's-
again, we can
but-
set it lower.
Man, that's when you're on location. That's what's so fun. You keep putting quarters in here. Just try to get that one combo,
Right.
much less the 15 modes or the 5 secret modes. And you're at home and you're up late at night and you're trying to just get that 1-5 for that 5-point combo. I love that stuff.
Every once in a while when I play, it's like, what, I'm just going to focus on combos. Can
Yeah.
I get through all 5? I have yet to do it.
Yeah.
I've gotten through 4. I've yet to be able to get all 5.
You heard it here. The coder
in
can't
one
get
game.
through his own. the
Okay,
coder
well,
can't get through his own code.
I'm a good player,
Yeah.
but I'm not a great player. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a tournament player. I'm not one of those kind of guys.
Yeah, Greg and I are no good
Um,
at pinball, generally
but,
speaking.
you
We
know,
love it though.
But that's one of the things I wanted to do in the game was have that kind of breadth. That there's different things going on.
one of the things I love
And
about
if you've got this at home, you can step up one time and say, I'm going to focus on trying to do that or trying to do all 5 movie modes.
Yeah.
Getting through all the stage modes, getting through all the movie modes, very attainable. if you're having a pretty good game. It's not that hard to start.
So you can play multiple games and have different tasks.
Right, you can go after it in different ways.
And if you
approach
complete
different
one,
things.
then you can start another task to try to spell that Houdini to
Right.
get to that master wizard mode or the 3 sub-wizard modes.
Right, and obviously, the key is, over time you start to learn, oh, if this is the combo active, then if I start this stage mode, those are gonna play nice together.
Oh, nice.
Where, okay, I can focus on the combo right now, because if I
Yeah.
get it, I'm gonna get the mode.
That's where you get the richness of the
Right,
code.
so
I
you
like
get those, and again, that's where those, you have the novices that we have Seance Multi-Ball for, and then the other extreme is things
That
like
goes-
that for those serious strategy guys who are gonna study it and then say, oh, I wanna stack this with this. Those varying degrees. So we'll come to Milk-Can Multiplier in a minute, that's
Okay.
not tied to a Houdini letter. So next item is, jail escapes.
Jail escapes.
Spelling escape, lights the jail
6
escape,
stand-up
which
targets.
is here.
Okay.
6 targets, it does require typically a little action off the pops to get it.
Yep.
These are shootable from here, off the pops.
Kind of get some ricochets and stuff, yeah.
And those are a set of 5 hurry-ups. What Houdini would do is when he was, when he arrived in a new city, he'd go to the local police station and have them throw
I've heard
himself
you talk
into
about
jail.
this, yeah.
And then he'd break out of jail and the newspapers would cover it and he'd get all this
He'd
press
do
and people would come
publicity.
pouring in. I mean,
That's
he was
right.
a brilliant marketer. We did take one liberty. One of the hurry-ups is based on London, and he actually never did that in London. When he arrived in London and went to the police and wanted to do it, they were like, no way.
Oh,
They had already heard about
Yeah.
other police departments being embarrassed, and they
Kinda makes
wouldn't let
them
him
look
do
bad,
it.
too, yeah.
And so, but
London's
we
not gonna
incorporate
have that.
that, so it's based on 5 cities.
Okay.
You can either have it configured to go easy to hard, or just randomly where it picks
I
it,
gotcha.
but the value is based on the difficulty.
Perfect, that makes sense.
So, one is just hitting the ramp shot. There's also a setting as to how hard it is. So if you have it on easy, just getting it partway up the ramp will
Okay.
award it. Versus if you have it on normal, you
Wow.
actually have to complete the ramp shot.
I guess that's seen through the opto and different things.
Right, and so one of the shots is hitting the key target, but if you're on easy, as long as you hit it through here, you'll get it. So we
Perfect.
wanted to make it show that it wasn't impossible to do, especially the milk can shot.
Oh.
So in the case of the milk can, hitting the target will award you the hurry up as well as making the
Oh,
milk
the
can
actual
loop.
little loop, okay.
And so the other shot that takes place here besides the jail escape is the magic shot. That's sort of your traditional mystery award. You open the magic shot through the spinner.
Okay.
The number of spins gets a little more difficult at each
To
level
open
as
it
you
up,
work
yeah.
up. And it's a random award, and there's some really nice Easter eggs
Okay.
in there that people
And I love
will
that shot
enjoy.
too, because that's not a direct shot you can hit.
Right.
It requires pinball.
Right.
That randomness.
And what's interesting about it is there's multiple ways you can get it in there. One is off the pops. Actually, this shot here through Stage Alley, if it's a little bit of a softer shot,
Yeah.
it'll go right in.
Oh,
Or
okay.
even if it's a harder shot, you'll get the bounce
So
off.
if you shoot that stage alley enough, you're gonna hit
You're
that.
going to get it there.
Okay.
And you can actually, just off the right flipper, bank it right off of the
Oh,
rubber
nice,
and off
nice.
of here.
Yeah.
So you actually, there's lots of different ways it goes in there. It was actually a concern I had early on. We didn't have a shooting game, the whole time I was writing the code before
Without it,
Texas.
yeah.
And it was one of those, it's like, okay, I'm basing 2 different things off here. Is the
Yeah.
ball going to get there? And we found that, you get some great action.
Ideally,
off
it
the
seems
pops.
good, but are we gonna get it in there? Yeah.
Right, if you don't get it in there enough. There are 8 different awards at the Magic Shop.
Okay.
You can earn a Houdini letter at 8, or you can configure it down to 5, or also set it
So
up to
even the
1 or 2.
mystery shots, you can get that Houdini
Yes.
level. I like that.
So you
'cause
have to visit there enough
It gives
times.
you more than just the mystery award. Because sometimes you hit a mystery shot and you think, okay, I got 10,000. All right, great.
Right.
But you're
You're
getting
moving towards a
closer
letter. Yeah.
to a crucial letter.
Right.
I love that.
So the key is, it means you gotta hit that spinner enough to
Okay.
open it enough and get there enough. So,
Perfect.
that's more something they probably don't have to work too hard at, but it means your game has to be long enough.
Yeah, you
And
still
you need
pay
to be
attention to
conscious
it.
of it when it's lit, hey, I wanna get that.
Mm-hmm.
If they're both lit, Jail Escape and Magic Shop, obviously it'll give you both. First
Okay.
you'll get your gift, and then it'll start the hurry up. Let's see, what did we not cover yet?
I
So.
like that light show.
So the milk can, the light shows in this game are really
I
terrible.
love it.
They're terrible right now.
Are they?
They're basically a handful I threw in as placeholders. Over the next 6 weeks.
How horrible does that
we'll
look,
improve-
guys?
yeah,
All that
there's-
RGBs.
Right.
It's
Now,
rough looking.
what you will find with the light shows, in fact, some of the ones in the tractor, just because I was testing them there, but they work great. So what
One
you'll
of the things you can change is code.
Right, exactly. Well, I talk about that with people. Once the game ships, if there's some issue, Joe can't fix
That's
a playfield design problem or something like that. There's issues with the code, and there'll be some bugs in there, no doubt. Yeah, I can fix that pretty easily and continue to enhance things. Well, what's really interesting about the RGB and the light it shows is everything in the game is color coded. There's no point in having RGB if you're not really using that to help the player. So, for example, escape is green. The targets are green. When you're in a hurry up, in a hurry up, the shot you need will be flashing green.
I got that. Okay.
When you complete it, you'll get a quick light show that's green. So once in a while, it's green. Now I know I have the hurry up lit.
Yes.
Movies are blue. It's a dark blue. So when you're in a movie mode, the shots you need are dark blue. You'll get a light show when you complete film. You'll notice that the film inserts are blue. So everything is color coded around that. Things associated with the stage are red. So if you had a stage mode running,
which makes sense,
the arrows will be red. The red curtain. It's also the most visible color, easy to pick up. The secret missions are pink.
Okay.
It's sort of like a hot pink. You cannot miss it. And so what'll happen with the secret missions, if that shot is the ramp, that'll be flashing. And as soon as you make that shot, or even just the first part of that shot, it'll start to flash the next shot in the sequence.
Very nice.
If you hit the wrong thing, then it immediately goes back to the beginning of the sequence. Because once you miss a shot, it goes back.
Now you don't see pink, that color, used very often in a game.
Right, so
they're not afraid. You guys aren't afraid to use pink.
Well, yeah, at some point you're looking at all the different colors. You want them to differentiate. Some way, I got to use pink. I got to use purple. I got to use orange. Teal and turquoise are other colors. So the Seance is this teal color.
I love that.
The targets are teal.
I was talking to Greg. You don't see teal stand-up target. I don't think any other machines get.
No, those were custom made for us. Both the super thinness of this. We had to do custom. And then since we were doing those custom, we were able to get the color done custom. And
that way you can get more
there was
shots.
some large cost to that, but I kind of pushed hard because we really wanted that coloring to work consistently through.
So what else do you need to do to get those Houdini letters? We've got through a handful.
So I think we've hit on them. So there was stage, movie, magic shop, secret mission, jail escapes, and the 2 multi-balls.
Perfect. So what do you have to do to complete the multi-ball? To get that letter, you start up Seance Multi-Ball. What do you have to do to actually get the
2 jackpots?
2 jackpots.
So the jackpots and seances, you need to complete the 6 seance targets. So you'd have to go through that sequence twice. There's also a super jackpot, which some people say it's not possible, but I've done it. Which is you have to spell it in order. Now I will say it's a lot easier to do it on the second jackpot. Yes, right. It's very Centaur inspired. So you're not doing that unless you're going to cradle a ball. So basically, once you get to 2 balls, you cradle 1. Then it's very doable. Very hard to do it on the first one because as the balls are coming into play, if the ball comes out of here, it's going to might bounce here and immediately hit one of the seance targets. So very.
But again, another task that somebody can really get in deep to this game.
Right, and again, those top players, because it's worth a lot of money, the super, a lot of points, not money, I wish it was money, for the super jackpot, so
it is for some of these tournament players, if they can hit these things properly, it's worth a lot of money.
And scoring balance is something I spent quite a bit of time on. And over time we'll tweak things if we have to, but I really tried to make sure that nothing was outrageously valuable.
My first guess would be you had to stay away from Seance Multi-Ball being worth so much.
Yeah, and it's not. It's actually almost not worth enough.
Oh, okay.
I recently bumped it up because I'm like, I'm not sure you're getting enough out of that multi-ball. So a few tweaks there.
Terrific. So tell us a little bit about you talked about the minor magician modes versus that major magician mode.
Right. So there's the 3 mini magician modes. One is after all the movies. One is after the secret missions. And one is after the hurry ups.
So if you get those you get your letter, but you also go right into that.
Right. So you earn the letter first before you do the mini magician mode. So you don't have to do that to get the letter. Although it's kind of a lot of the points.
Of course,
big points in the mini magician modes. Those are not implemented in the game yet. 2 of them are basically done. I need sound calls from our sound engineer, Matt Kern. Not that I've given him the list of sound calls for that yet, because I've literally been coding the mini magician modes the last week or 2.
Very cool.
The secret mission one. So I expect that those will be in place later this month. You might have temporary sound calls to get it done. And then the Master Magician mode, I've designed it. It hasn't been coded yet.
Really?
So I'm not going to tell you anything about it yet.
Okay.
But my goal is that...
Can you tell us how to get to it?
Well, once you spell Houdini,
That's
you'll be able to
what
start
you-
it from a
okay.
couple of different places. So you spell Houdini, it'll be lit. You'll be able to start it.
I can
on
tell
the
you're
stage
excited
or
about
whatever.
that. You're
Well,
excited about
I'm
that
looking
one.
forward to be able to get to it
That's like
myself
the
and play it.
ultimate
Right.
completion.
But at the same time, it's not, since not everybody's going to get to, especially on location, it's not also where I'm going to say, ooh, I'm going to spend 20% of my development time on
Oh,
it.
of course.
You want it to be there, but it's the arrival is as much the thing as what
Here's
occurs there.
one
But-
thing. Give the Sdtm viewers. Can you complete the Master
Yes,
Magician code?
yes.
You can complete it.
Yes, it is complete. It is a
Like
mode
that.
where, and
It's not just hit jackpots until you're dead.
No, it's a series
like that.
of things tied back to the 7 areas.
Okay.
So those are sort of incorporated in there, both from a scoring standpoint and an objective standpoint. So ultimately, you're trying to work through those things to successfully become
that.
a master magician.
And if I know Josh, he's going to make it a spectacle if you beat that thing.
Well, it would be nice. I like to be able to do like TNA style light shows.
Yeah.
Do the best I can with that, but.
This
we
is
can,
just
but yeah,
terrific.
you certainly want it to feel like you've beaten the game.
Okay.
And right now, my anticipation is if you do that, your game's going to end. Not like, okay, you start going
Well,
to
what
do
else do
everything
you
again.
have to do?
In some games, like, you have to keep on. Like,
It should just say, take a breath.
Right, it's
Take
like-
a breath.
I'm thinking the game explodes and you go buy our second game and now start, the adventure
As tough as it
towards-
might be. But you know what, Josh? That's what I love about the depth of this code in particular, and many games like it. It's a lot of these guys, they get to the wizard mode. I'm kind of like this, I'm not going to lie. Get to the wizard mode, and you just rock the socks off of that thing, and it gets kind of boring, it gets kind of stale. With this, it's going to take you a long time to get there. And if you haven't got there, a lot of guys like myself, it's hard for me to get rid of a game if I haven't seen everything in it. It's hard to get it. That's why there's a lot of Lord of the Rings still sitting in that game room, because Valinor is hard to get to.
That's such a great game. It just has the right mix of
It does.
very deep rule, but great theme integration. And that's a critical thing. Some games, you look at it and it's like, you just slap the name on there. The game and
Get
the
your
play
linear modes
has
and you're
nothing
done,
to
yeah.
do with the theme. Some games do a great job of really tying them together, and there's a bunch of things that make that game work.
Very nice. Well, man, I love your passion about this. You've gave the viewers a really good overview, and especially just what to look for 101-wise, but also the depth of where the code's going to go. Where would you say, before we end this, where would you say percentage-wise as we're shipping games now? Are we calling it 100? Are we calling it 80? Are we calling it 110? Where
Well,
what are we-
I don't know.
It's artificial, subjective.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you ever get to 100. Because that implies that you've run out of ideas and things you could potentially do to improve it. Now, what I've joked about is, although the game is done when I am so sick and tired of it that I don't want to work on it anymore. But right now, everything is implemented in the game with the exception of the Mini Magician and the Master Magician mode. And as I said, the two of the Mini Magician modes are basically 80% done, and will be done by the end of this month. So, depending what kind of number you want to put
I
on.
would
It's in the-
feel like that's
we're-
full.
We're in the 90 percentiles.
I feel like that's full, yeah.
What's really outstanding is just some additional polish to the game,
Mm-hmm.
a few more light shows, a little cleanup there. We're still dropping in some sound effects.
Okay.
Some more voice calls, or a few voice calls I'm not happy with, some things like that. Some improvements to some of the animations. Our artist was here today. I was going through some things.
Very good.
So there's things that I'm just not happy with yet that we want to get there. But my goal is to start working on game 2 on March 1st from a rules standpoint,
I like
a coding
that.
standpoint. So my goal is to have this
Most
game
of
at
it all
that
worked.
99%, 98%.
You go back in your time
at
off,
that
just
point.
kind of tinker with it.
Right. I've got some things, new ideas that have come up in the last month I want to implement. There's a different skill shot on the horizon.
Oh, cool.
That just brings a little more value to it, with a couple other little features to it to enhance things. So, when I play the game, when I watch other people play the game, new ideas
Yeah.
come to mind. Tequila really helps come up with new ideas. That's where, somebody once asked how I came up with the reverse and inverted flippers, and I said, I can assure you it was tequila.
Somebody's got to be drinking after that.
you
That's
come up
that's
with
a
that
first. The
stuff.
real question is this going in your game room?
Is this going in my game room? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. First of all, I probably won't get to the Master Magician mode legitimately until it's in my game room.
Yeah.
Because it'll take a while to get to that.
Very good.
I think it's a game that will do well in people's homes again because of the breadth and the depth, the fact that people who don't know anything about pinball can step up and typically get to a multi-ball. Yeah. And for those who really feel they need to beat a game, well,
that's why I've been beating down American Pinball's door to get this thing. Josh, we want to thank you again. And from all the hobbyists out there, I know you guys feel the same way. Buddy, the communication you have to us hobbyists, sometimes this hobby is just pushed towards barcades, or sometimes it's just pushed towards hobbyists. But you listen to everybody, and you take the feedback, you change things. So for that, we appreciate it.
Thanks.
We thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
This is Josh Kugler on the code set and the rules of Houdini. Yeah, Greg, that was a fun trip.
It is fun. And I am so glad that Josh went over those rules because could you imagine us trying to explain those rules? The complexity of that?
I'm glad.
It's like Chuck Wert's like Game of Thrones tutorial, that was done there. So
we'll talk about it more in code, but one of the things I love about Kugler and Balser, I call him J Coog, and I call him Joey B. Joey B and J Coog. The reason I like them, they're freaking passionate.
That was
special.
It was. That was the best thing about going up there, was to see the passion.
They really want this
out of everybody up there.
They really want this bad.
Yeah, it was.
I can appreciate it, and I felt that.
And it wasn't like a pushy type thing. It was literally just the joy, just like when you talk to your friends about pinball.
Yeah.
And the joy and how you end up talking over each other and you're just all excited. And
That's what we do every day, yeah.
That's the way that they were.
Yeah.
And, especially Josh. Josh was just like...
Joe Balser's just a fun, kick-ass guy.
Joe's
just awesome.
Joe took a little bit to warm up. Like when we first met him,
he was like, "Can I drink a beer with these guys?"
Yeah. He was just kind of standoffish, like I don't know these assholes.
But by the end of it,
by the end of it, like I love the guy. Like I could have hung out with him all night long.
He was even jabbing on me like you do, and I was like, "Okay, it's time to go."
Yeah, once he warmed up to us a little bit and got to know us, man, dude, he's like one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Like,
so let's get into the categories. We're going to start out with art.
Yes.
Okay. So is Houdini a striking machine when you walk up to it? It is.
I think so.
It is.
I think that with the unique head, with the translate, it's a very cohesive machine.
Yeah.
The whole package is very cohesive. Nothing stands out. It's not in your face, but it's just elegant and gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that has always struck me about this machine is I feel that you could live in a $1 million home and set this somewhere in it.
It would look
and
like
it's not going to look like a game room. It's going to look like it's a piece of furniture.
It's supposed to be in there.
Yes.
And it would almost look unique, like a non-production piece. Like, wow, that is. Who did you have make that?
Yes.
Or who did you commission out to do that?
Exactly. Yep. It looks like a one-off.
Wow, I like it. All right, so art for me, you're going to hear us say steampunk a lot, industrial a lot, and beauty a lot.
Yeah.
Can something be industrial and beautiful at the same time?
Yes.
I think so.
There's a lot of that.
And that's what Houdini is all about. Houdini has a lot of color, but it still feels like it belongs in a factory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much so.
I love, when I walk up to it, I love seeing that back glass.
Yes.
Like, man.
And that's what, I gave it a B+. And
I'm at an A-.
I would have, I like it. I like the Houdini in the middle a lot, but something's a little bit off for me. That's why I couldn't rate it higher. But the translite, if I was to just go on that translite.
Hold up. Is it a translite?
Oh, it's a back glass. So it's not a translate, it's a back glass.
Thank you.
That's my bad.
Thank you.
But the colors on it are so
rich.
Like, I don't even understand how that they even produced it. It's literally just LEDs back there.
It is the crispiest back glass I've ever seen.
And the art is fantastic around it.
What Kugler said was, typically whenever people screen print back glasses, they put like this, it's like a white coating on the back.
Yes.
So I guess that the light saturates it better.
Diffuses almost like a diffuser.
Like a frosted bulb.
Yes.
But what they did was they pulled it. So it is literally the art printed on that piece of glass.
All behind
and when you light it up, the contrast really pops.
Yeah.
It looks really
And you
crisp.
can tell. I mean,
I don't know if they can see it in there, but man,
it is gorgeous.
Man.
It's something. Oh, it's so special.
One of the prettiest back glasses in all of pinball. I'm talking 70s, 80s, 90s.
I
It is
100%
true.
agree.
when you do LCD screens and back glasses, you got to be careful because you take away the art.
Yes.
I think Jersey Jack will be the first to even tell you he's got an awesome 27-inch screen, but that little marquee is never going to be stunning.
Yes.
All right, Stern, same thing.
Yes.
They've got a little bit bigger artwork,
Yeah.
but nothing surrounding it. This
Yes.
surrounds it and makes it part of the story as the theater.
Yeah, because it incorporates the
Yeah.
screen as a part of the back glass. It's not just a screen.
That's right. That's right.
Because the curtains, the way the heads are in front of it, the way that it was just cut out, it gives it just a 3D effect that you're really watching something on a stage.
The cabinet itself is unique with that head.
Yeah.
So that is a piece of art.
Yeah.
I think they make a statement with that.
Yeah.
Now, at first I didn't like it. Whenever
Oh,
I saw it
really?
at the shows. Yeah, when I saw it at the shows, I thought, you guys know, I just wanted to line up just like my other machines. But then when I saw it in person, I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I heard Joe Balser talking about the design of it
Yeah.
and how every machine going forward is going to have that head. I really like that.
I do too.
And it's grown on me. And I've heard a lot of people in the forum say, that head's kind of growing on me.
Yeah, I like it. And
like
like
that.
they said, they said that since they put them out on location, they've seen them in lineups, and it doesn't look off against Stearns
I mean,
or anything else.
looks
No.
fine here.
Yeah, it does. It's not because that was my chief complaint about Alien was that
That
the
head.
head,
Oh,
just
that skinny little thing.
Yeah, it never fits in a lineup. It looks odd. It needs to just set in a corner by itself, and I like that game a lot. Yeah, but the head just does not look right. Whereas this is different, but it fits in a lineup.
And then the side of the cab here is really cool because it has that Victorian greenish rich feel.
Yes.
But then it's got mechanisms and parts that very steampunkish.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. It gauges. It's got handle looking
That's what I'm saying.
things
It's
on it.
cohesive. The play field, the translate, everything pulls
The
together.
powder coat, that's part of the art. They chose that to be an artistic design.
Yes.
So that's like it's like a rusty green and it's textured.
And even the
Love
T
that.
molding. The T molding has
A leather. It's a leather
Yeah, it's like
T
a
molding.
texture. It's not just a shiny plastic T molding. Like
So
it's,
bravo. The last thing I want to make art-wise is there's so many Easter eggs.
Oh yes.
There are so many Easter eggs that
Yes.
for me, I couldn't go below an A at all because of that back glass.
Mm-hmm.
It deserves an A, and because of all of the little Easter eggs in there, the
Yeah.
tributes to Houdini,
There really are.
the studying, the research, the details of that. I very much appreciate. Just like for example, I'll give you guys one. If you guys look at the safe up there, the safe says RecLab and Relguk Company. It's the safe company, right? But really what that is Kugler and Balser backwards.
Yeah.
I love that.
And just because I'm an odd, quirky person, and I felt like a lot of people at American Pinball were too,
Yeah.
I love the monkey everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
The monkey has a story.
Yeah, we
and-
talk about that upcoming.
Yeah, they didn't tell
or
us.
we just talked about that in the thing.
Yeah. They didn't really tell us.
They said just look it
Just
up.
look it up. So
Houdini and monkey.
we got to tell you guys the same thing.
So there's this
but-
cute little monkey that has a bandage on his junk.
Yeah.
Right? And he pops up a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, you kind of got to look. It's a fun. It's kind of a fun. It's like where's Waldo, but where's the nutless
I love
monkey?
that. Oh, you gave part of it away.
Well, I mean, he's just there. I mean, it's just sort of what it is. He's got a bandage.
All
on
right,
his
so
thumb.
you're at a B plus. I'm at an A minus. Last thing I'll say is those hands. Just that sinister look on Houdini's face whenever.
Yeah, it's
and then the
pretty cool.
magnets.
the magnets are
Curtains
fantastic.
for me. Let's move on to shots and layout. This is a Joe Balser design. Joe Balser, one of the things I like about him is that when you look at his games, there's nothing like if you look at a Steve Ritchie game, it's a Steve Ritchie
Yeah,
game.
when
you look at a John Borg game, you're like, that's a Borg design. With Joey B, I'm going to call him Joey B again. With Joey B, he probably hates, knowing him, he probably hates
Feel
that.
free to kick him in the face, Joe.
That's right. With Balser designs, he takes risks. They're all a little bit different. And he took risks with this layout as well, without a whitewood, I might add.
Yeah, that was what was impressive to me. There was very little mock up. The time frame, Joe just kind of had to go with what he knew, and
He had to trust his experience.
yes, and say that this shot's gonna work.
Yeah.
and we're putting the damn thing on there, and we're gonna pray.
Now, if you think about the shots, the orbits I love.
the orbits are
Nice,
they're
buttery,
fast.
smooth.
and they feel
They're long, too.
They're wider, longer orbits.
Yeah, they use
Don't
the whole
they feel
board.
wider?
They use that whole playfield.
So it's it's kind of
There's no stop post to stop your way.
No, it is
And
just
you're cruising through them.
fast, and like you said, it's long, so it's a very weird feeling
Yeah.
orbit.
I
In
like
a great way.
I like the alley shots.
Oh yeah,
That is special. I've not seen that in pinball.
Yeah.
So the alley shots where you can hit them through the pops in 2 directions.
Yes.
And that doesn't sound like fun. Who wants to hit through pops all the time? But I got to tell you, I like it because it's smooth when you do hit it. It hits that stage to open it up and banks it under the gobble hole.
Well, that shot is one of the most amazing shots that I've seen in a long time, especially originality, because you'll see it. You like Zach said, you can go straight up to the pops and hit
There's a target back there through the pops.
Or just to the left of it, you hit, and it does like a little veer, like a 45, and
the
cuts
stage
it through
alley.
the pop, into the stage. And that is a unique odd shot, because when you first play it, you don't really understand what that shot's doing. You think it's going to kind of throw you into the pops again or something weird. But it's just, when it goes all the way to that stage and hits it or goes into it, it feels amazing.
Yeah, you're like wow, that was cool.
Yes, it
was
is
cool. It was like a highway.
Yeah,
and it went right to it.
Because I like unexpected shots in pinball.
This is Houdini.
Yes, it is.
There are some indirect shots in Houdini that you cannot hit. By a fan layout.
Yeah.
You have to bank. You have to hit. You have to hope for pop action. Now, I do like that. That's reminiscent more to that 90s, 80s, 90s kind of stuff.
Which they explained it that way. They said it kind of had, they kind of built it to have that 90s feel, which obviously I'm a huge fan of.
Oh, yes, you love
with my Segas and stuff. But, so, I mean.
I'm just glad you don't like Gottliebs. I'm glad, you do like them. You do like them.
I'm okay with
them. But I'm glad that you really push Segas over Gottliebs.
You know, I do have some taste.
This friendship would be over.
But yeah, like you said about that gobble hole, like the nice thing about that is
under the ramp.
It's under the ramp, so it's hidden.
You can't hit
but
it
it's not hidden
directly
because the clear ramp you can see it. So it's actually kind of magical seeing it hit because it kind of bangs around the rim and then drops. And it's cool to see that because most people would just hide that behind a decal or a sticker on the ramp or something. You'd never see it. It's just the shots there. But this actually is more magical to see the shot.
It really works because it goes down like a toilet bowl or something.
Yeah, it's so freaking neat, man.
Let's talk about that stage. You hit that stage enough, the curtains will open of the stage.
Yes.
We're not talking about just a scoop in the middle of your play field.
Yeah.
It opens up.
Yeah, it's a little half moon.
Yeah. You put it into the stage curtains close.
Yes.
And when they open again, the ball is gone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So that's cool because there's a subway.
Yes.
That goes with shots and layout. It kind of toys and innovation, but shots and layout. But it's a feel-good kind of shot.
Yes.
What about the ramp? That's the hardest shot for me to hit besides the milk can.
Yeah, the ramp's pretty tough.
It's on a weird spot on your
It is. It's not your normal ramp position.
Yeah.
And
which I can appreciate.
I can too. Yeah, I like changing it up a little bit. Yeah, it's tight. Like that is like
everybody says this game is too tight, Greg. Is it too tight? The shots, they're too tight.
Yes and no. And then this is my thought process and my feeling upon this is yes, the shots are all tight, especially if you look at them. They all look like the same width. Like they're just like tiny.
The orbits are pretty wide open.
Yeah, the orbits are. Yeah, orbits are easy. Obviously, your easiest shot.
But your alleys and your ramp and that inner orbit
very similar and very tight. And when you first throw a game or two on there, you're like, damn, this is.
They're stand-up targets.
Yeah, they're stand-up targets, and you brick. The bricks don't feel bad like some other games. Like I'm a big fan of Johnny Mnemonic. You brick a lot on Johnny because Johnny's got some tight shots.
Yeah.
But it feels very brick and kind of frustrating. This, when you get a rejected shot, it doesn't feel horrible. Something's actually kind of smooth about them. Does that make sense in a way? Like it doesn't, not bad. But
it helps that it's brand new.
Yeah. But once you get a feeling for the shots, like Demo Man. Like I bought Demo Man, and as wide open as those shots are, I was like, this bastard ain't got any flow. I can't hit a single damn shot. Like my first couple games when I first got it.
And now watching you,
I can tear. Well,
unless you're streaming, and then you suck.
Then it sucks. But normally, yes, you can throw down some great flow on it, and that's the way this game is. Now it doesn't have flow. Per se. But I'm saying of learning the shots, they're very doable and they're very satisfying. It's just learning them. And it's actually more impressive because they look so tight, and the fact that you can hit them gives me a little bit better feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Houdini, everybody out there that says it's too tight, we got to stop talking about that. There's tighter machines out there that have been released in the last year. We're done with the whole too tight because they're not too tight. The ramp is on a different spot on the flipper, so it's kind of tough to hit. But when you hit it, it's repeatable. Everybody likes repeatable ramp.
Yeah.
You can backhand what everybody complains about that to the left of the right orbit. that loads your catapult.
Yes.
Everybody complains about that. I hit that thing more times than I do probably any other shot.
Yeah.
That's not, you can backhand it for God's, anytime you can backhand a shot, it's not tight, in my opinion. So we're done with the tightness thing there. The alley passes, once you got those down, they're not tight.
Yeah.
You know what is tight? That damn milk can shot.
Milk can
But
shot
it's
is
supposed to be tough because it's in charge of your multipliers. And he's, like Josh Kugler said, he said, multipliers are going to be for more experienced players. So he's going to make it tough.
Yeah.
So Balser made that tough. It's not tight. It's very satisfying. I'm at an A- for shots.
And I'm at a B+, and I would have went higher, but I do think the shots are a bit too
Scoop
tight.
is perfect.
I think the shots are a bit too tight. But
I don't see it.
I've had time on it, but not a ton of time, and maybe with just a little bit more time, it wouldn't affect me at all. But it affects me just a little bit to why that I couldn't go into the A, and I had to stay at a B+.
Okay. You were getting frustrated with once that stage opens, it's not a direct shot.
No, it's not. It seems like you would think
you can get it up there and you might rim in and out like a basketball hoop.
Yes. Yeah. And
see, I particularly enjoy that. I think that is a cool element.
Well, I'm okay with that because I could get it up there. It's just maybe
you still ranked it high. So.
Maybe I'm looking for more flow. It's more of a stop and go.
It is a
more
very
stop and go.
I've told people
it's a shooter's pin.
It's a mode-based stop and go, just like this is Joe Balser. We've got Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
We got Simpsons Pinball Party.
Yeah, both of them very similar.
But this has more flow than Simpsons.
Yes.
A lot more flow than Simpsons.
Yes.
And dare I say, a lot more flow than Wizard of Oz.
I honestly don't see how you could like either one of those games and not like this.
Yeah, because this feels, I always tell myself, it's kind of like a mini Woz. It feels
Yeah.
like a mini Woz, but it doesn't feel as tight as Woz.
No.
And it's a standard, and Woz is a wide body.
Yeah.
It's odd. You guys have to play this. And put you some games on it. Because you first get up to this thing, start shooting and clunking around on it because you don't have those shots down. You're going to think it's tight, but it's not.
But you know what? It could fall into the same thing of just like having to stick $1 in, like the same reason that I wouldn't play Woz. Like I had tough playing Woz because
it's
learn
an exceptional
Woz,
game.
It's a fantastic pin, but to feed
on
it
location
dollars to get accustomed to it is a little frustrating.
I think this thing deserves $5 on location.
I agree. Yeah,
You'll be good
I picked
after
this up and I feel better a lot quicker on this than what I did Woz.
Okay.
Woz, I still feel like I'm trying to understand and get to.
Gosh.
But this here again, 5 to 10 games.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the
like
shots.
it'll hit an in lane or the milk cans of the in lane.
Yeah.
You're like, woo, that was fast.
Yeah, and I can play the game after that. Like I feel comfortable that I could do something with it.
Yeah,
So,
it's a very smooth game once you get it rolling.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to rules. I'm going to A- on rules.
A- in agreement.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And you know why that's good? Because the one thing I will say about this, the structure and the foundation of the rules, you guys, you will see if you're watching this early 2018, this will be a contender in the award show next year.
So.
The rules are freaking superb. The layout is superb of those rules, the foundation. I cannot give it an A or an A+ because it's got bugs.
Yeah.
It does have bugs.
Yeah.
And granted, I was one of the first ones in the world with this. I expected that. I was fine with that. But the good thing is what we've got is Josh Kugler, who communicates better as an industry professional in pinball than anybody.
Yeah.
So you've got somebody that's going to work this thing out. Yeah. But it's got some bugs here.
And what did Josh say to us? I can't remember if it was in that overview or not. When Josh says, you asked him, where was the code at right now? Is it at a .80?
He said it's never at 100%.
Yeah, he said you can't base a game like that. It'll never be 100%.
It's 100% when he gets too tired.
When he gets too tired to mess with it anymore. And I like that response because that is an honest.
Oh yeah.
You can't rate. I don't think you can rate.
He's
game
not
code.
close to being tired of that thing.
No.
He wants to talk about that thing. He's like the guy that will talk and talk and talk. And you're like, okay, I love it as much as you do.
Yeah,
I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't have to convince me.
And you know
he
what?
Loves it.
It's not Walking Dead code for me, but it is deep. Mm-hmm. It has a lot of complexity. Yeah. But it's easily learnable because all your shots, I feel, when you're in a mode or something, are easily distinguishable.
All color-coded.
All color-coded. You hit the flashing shots.
And you got a status that kind of clearly tells you
where
to go.
So and some of the other things, multipliers and some things, you got to just kind of pay attention to and you learn like normal. Yeah. But as of in modes and everything, they're very simple in the understanding of
Oh,
them.
because they'll tell you.
Because they
we'll
tell
get
you,
to
yeah,
we'll get
yeah.
to call outs. It'll tell you what to do.
And I like having that what seems like simplicity mixed with depth. Again, that 90s kind of
That's what he was going for.
feel.
The
Yeah.
90s feel on steroids.
Yes,
It feels like a 90s DMD on steroids.
Yeah, it's like somebody would have released this freaking phenomenally coded, amazing game in the 90s. And
Yeah,
it makes
people
everything-
would
they would have,
shit.
they would have died
Yeah.
over this. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's still pretty marvelous now.
Yeah. It's set up for novices, intermediate players like
Yeah,
ourselves,
yes.
and for experts.
That is very good. Yes,
Yeah,
it is. It is, to me, a very across the board.
Everybody
for all
can have
players.
fun on it. Novices are going to hit those stand-up targets enough to start Seance Multi-Ball with magnets. Okay, that's a winner.
Yeah.
Right? Intermediate players like us understand there's 10 maiden modes, there's 5 film modes, there's 5 jail hurry-ups. Okay, I've got it. If I can complete some of those, I light Houdini's letters. If I hit the ramp enough time, I get some letters. If I get the magic shop enough time, I get letters. Okay, but then the expert will say, okay, I need to stack.
Yeah.
I need to stack a mode. I'll start my seance, but then I'll get that secret mission combo mode going.
Yes.
I'll get those multipliers, get my 2, 3, 4 times X, and then I'll utilize it. So it's got a little bit for everybody.
It does. Yeah, it's fun.
And I would love to see how long it's going to take for somebody to legitimately, no bullshit rules where you make everything easy, but to get to that master magician mode where you have to light all Houdini letters.
Yeah, it's tough. Again, it's that length and complexity to it that is nice.
And it's not what everybody's complaining about. I don't want to compare here, but what people complain about, say something like Guardians, which I love too. Guardians is a very much, here's your 10 modes, open them up, you get to a mini wizard, complete them, you get to a master wizard mode. Okay, that bugs people. That really bugs people. What people love, like myself, like when I see The Shadow, when I see America's Most Haunted did a good job of that. Lord of the Rings does a spectacular job. They say, here's your modes, that's fine. Get through those, we're only going to give you one part of that wizard mode.
Yeah.
You've got to get that. You've got to get this. You've got to get this one. And it's together. You have to get all of it to get to that master wizard. So it's like Walking Dead, where you don't have to just go for modes. You can go for your combos to get that letter or that weapon.
Yeah.
You can go for anything. So it
agree with
feels
you.
a little bit like Walking Dead. In
I
a
agree
sense,
with you.
but with a 90s little basic flair.
I agree.
Let's move on. Hold up. Is there anything else before we move on in rules that I really like? Man, it's just a solid one. I know what's coming. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Toys and you know what? You know what's sad? Like, I love making these videos. I really do. And I somewhat enjoy you coming over. But
He lies. He begs for me to come over.
oh yeah, please, Greg, please. But
Be my
right
friend.
now, I'd rather play that.
I'd
I really
play it
would.
too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I really
So toys
would.
and innovation.
It's an A+.
I got to keep this thing moving.
What did you give it?
Oh, I gave it an A+ too.
Yeah, we've got to move on Toys and Innovation because we could literally.
They speak for themselves. Like,
They're unbelievable. There are
Yeah.
more toys and gimmicks in this
Yeah.
than Stern Ellies.
Hey, you know what's nice?
Than Jersey
I
Jack. I mean,
agree.
it's up there with Jersey Jack stuff.
and these magnets during your normal play are not.
It's not just multi-ball.
It's not erratic magnets that are gonna just screw you over. They're a nice.
They're magic.
They're very
swirly.
They're a very. It's almost like a magician's hands.
Sleight of hand. Yeah.
Of where it's very. The magnets aren't angry.
No.
They're
Magnets aren't angry.
yeah. They're not angry magnets. They're
Oh my.
They're ballet magnets.
I love that.
They give
ballet
you a little,
magnets.
They give you a little twirl and a little toss, and it's enough to take you by surprise, but enough where you just want to reach in and rip them out. You know?
I want to get a shirt that says they're not angry magnets.
They're ballet magnets.
They're ballet magnets. They're magic magnets.
Yeah, magic.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
You're not just going to see the magnets during multi-ball. If you hit those magic targets, that's part of the rules.
Yeah.
It'll spot you. If you're in a mode, it'll spot you a shot.
Yeah.
But it'll whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
Kind of like your
and it's fluid.
theater of magic. It's very much. Is it kind of drone-like and dialed in?
Yeah.
But now drone kind of whips them.
Yeah, it's kind of whip. This isn't a whip. It's not like
It's a whirly.
Yeah, it's not Fast and Furious.
It's whirly.
I like it.
All right, so Toys and Innovation. Greg, we have a catapult that throws the ball up the entire playfield into a trunk.
Yeah.
and mine hasn't missed yet.
No, it's not. And I've heard that from a lot of people. Once it's dialed in, you're good to go. There isn't.
Yeah.
There
Now,
isn't
for
any
all
problem.
those Houdini owners that you're going to buy a Houdini after this review, for all those people, Joe Balser did say, whenever you get into your home, every voltage is different.
will affect it just a little bit.
So he said once you dial it in, it's really easy. The setup's all visual, and it's just a coil you go up or down. But he said, move it up one or down one based on if it's going too hard or too soft. Dial it in, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And that's truly.
Yeah.
I had to up mine, I think, 2 for each catapult. There's 2 catapults, Greg.
Yeah, shoots it into
The first catapult's
wire
cool
ramp.
because it makes a spectacle. You hit it, a Vuck then hits it like a Rube Goldberg, and then it goes, and the flashers flash on the trunk, and it goes,
Yeah.
and it throws it.
Yeah. I like it all.
And then it can go either into the second catapult to go into a wire form, or it can trapdoor, can drop it into a subway, and it comes out.
And
the
most
scoop.
wouldn't consider the pops to be a toy.
They are.
I consider them a toy because
When Back Alley Creation molds them,
fantastic.
by
Yeah.
hand, they are. Yeah.
it's fantastic. And to me, it's kind of the star of the pin. Like, in a sense, like the catapult's cool when it works, but I mean, your main
The
focus
theater,
point and everything,
the
yeah.
stage.
That
I
whole
don't know.
area,
There's so much cool shit
yeah, that whole area up there is some of the most fantastic stuff I've seen
in a pinball
on a
machine.
pinball machine. It's so neat the way that that's designed and laid out up there.
Yeah, it's all integrated very
yeah,
well.
very much so. But yeah, I mean, you could
The pop bumpers
you
are
could-
cool because they could have copped out like some people and just did a flat art plastic and the middle moves.
It would've killed
That's
it.
pinball.
It would've
But
killed
this is individual. All of them
Yeah.
shift up and down. And they have chains on the locks. You can
Yes.
just put locks, but then you put chains
Yeah.
so those rattle
Yep.
around.
And it's 3 different locks. It's not the same thing. It's 3 different molded locks.
And again,
that fit
integration.
the play field.
Yeah, integration down at the bottom. You'll see locks. Those
Yeah.
are the same locks that are physically
Yeah.
on.
And
your
that's what they
game.
kind of pulled it from and said, this is what we need to do. So, I mean, there was a lot of thought. Again, that's one of those things, and maybe it's because we don't get to see a lot of behind the scenes on some of these, but the enthusiasm and the thought and the revisions and the work that went in such a short amount of time.
So what else with toys and innovation? We got the catapult. We got the other catapult. We got the screen on. Oh, look, we got a big screen up there. What do you think about the size of that screen? We talked about it a little bit before.
What, in the translate?
Backlight.
Oh, the-
Stop to translite.
Back glass.
Paid good money for that to be a back glass.
No, again, I think it's fantastic. It's
it looks like curtains.
beautiful.
And they put the art over the LCD.
Yeah, sort of like what we talked about with art. Yeah, it's all fantastic, man. Like
The toys. We could go on
could
and
be
on
forever
about
on
the
toys and innovation.
but you guys sell it yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm an A plus. This is one of the most loaded machines in pinball.
I agree.
What?
Well, we're coming up on
What's wrong?
the most controversial area of the pin:
Music and call outs.
music and call outs.
Okay, so music and call outs. What are the complaints we're hearing? Because I'm hearing it's verbose.
Yeah.
This pin talks to you a lot.
Yes.
But it's not just hit the lit shot, it's listen to what they tell you to do.
Yes. And that was at Expo in Chicago. It was the very first time I'd really got to play it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my chief complaint. Was like, son of a bitch, I gotta sit through listening to this. I just want to play this pinball machine.
That's right.
Why?
That's right.
Why with the long-winded, drawn-out, the elephant?
I love the main guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But like Josh said, because that was one of the you skip it. Just like any other long
2 buttons, you're good.
winded thing, you skip it and you're on the plan. Like it's
Now,
not
right
a big
now,
deal.
I will say, right now, the film modes, when you start those up, it does teach you about Houdini, so you can't skip through those.
Yeah.
But all the main modes and stuff like that, you skip right through it.
Yes. And
Yeah,
you can
not a big
change
deal.
them in settings.
Settings, if it's too wordy for you, you can tone it down.
Yeah, in settings.
Done, guys.
So that
Again, no more complaining
No,
about
that to me is not a problem.
Yeah.
Now you can, and I guess we should have went with maybe art and stuff in this, but we'll throw up music and call outs. But and we might with the new DMDs or with the new LCDs and stuff, we might have to add a new category of animations.
Yeah, because you know one cool fact? Whenever you start Seance Multi-Ball, you guys probably don't know this. You've got this ghoul up on the screen.
Yeah.
And I called it a ghoul, and Josh said, you know what? That's actually Houdini's mother. How cool is that? He said, go ahead and Google Houdini's mother. He said, look at her face. That's the same thing.
So mean.
But how cool is that they did their homework enough to have Houdini's
God
mother
rest
as
that
a
poor
ghoul?
woman's soul.
I don't want Houdini's mom haunting me.
Houdini's gonna haunt you. He's mad. particular.
There's a lot of times in this that it is a creepy, eerie sounding pin.
It is, and
even the vocals.
It went for that old school stage stuff because I mean they were lit with lamps and stuff back then. Like, it was a really dark, weird time, and I think that they captured that the animations being very weird.
Oh, and they're eerie because they're choppy, like a ventriloquist dummy with the mouths.
And I don't know because the complaint seems to be like that they just didn't have the technology and didn't understand what they were doing. No. But to me, and maybe I'm just freaking wrong, but to me, that's perfect. Feel. Yeah, that's what they went for. Like, obviously, they went for that. You can't mess animations up to that degree. Like,
that's true. I wasn't trying to defend it. There was a guy on Pinside that was like, "Oh, it's choppy and stuff," and I said, "Think about this theme. Think about Houdini and some of the content of this. What would you do different?" Yeah. And you know what response he gave me? He didn't.
No, because you can't. Because you don't want anything all flowy and cartoony. You don't want something like dialed in with these original...
No, not with Houdini back in the night. I'm not even going to... I don't know.
Yeah, you can't have that fluid, beautiful, fun thing. Because even film was just choppy.
Yeah.
And everything.
It's cool.
It is. In the call-outs, like his whole announcing voice, even of Houdini.
Yes.
It's like he's presenting and doing.
And then he mocks you.
Yeah.
If you mess it, he's like, "No, it's a skill shot."
Yeah. And
I love that.
I watched The Prestige the other night because I was in the mood for it. I'd watched this thing on Tesla and stuff, and I was like, what better movie to watch now is The Prestige? And I got the same sense, because it was sort of around that era that they were, when magic was big and you had some great magicians. And it encompassed that same feel.
Oh, it does.
That film did. Like,
that's that steampunk, that industrial, mechanics under your sleeve kind of thing. Yeah,
and the presentation and everything. Like, it gave me that feel, and I was just like...
Because you know what? Back then, people really thought it was sorcery. They really believed in this magic stuff. They thought, I don't trust this.
Yeah.
That's what this game pulls.
I just don't think they got it wrong. I can understand where people were coming from with it, and I gave it a B-. I scored it a little low. I scored it a little low because it is quirky, but I don't think that they did wrong. It's just maybe not my taste. But like you said, when you said something to that guy, I can't tell you what I would have done different.
Yeah. Like,
I can't at all. And the more that I listen to it, the better I feel.
The ghoulish giggles.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I think that it's just, I think that it's very good, but you overlook it because you're concentrating on the game.
You like the countdown call-outs? A lot of people complaining about that?
No, I don't think it's terrible.
5, 4, like on Lord of the Rings.
I like it because then I'm pumped.
It does make me...
I need to go. It actually kind of screws you up, which is a genius kind of thing.
Yeah, it does. It's psychological. A lot of psychological little tricks. Staging on this game, psychological. They'll put the ball one spot, but they've already got one loaded. So it'll be... Boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Freaks me out. Wait. Where's that going? I'm at an A-, and I'll tell you why. Because the main guy's voice. Houdini. Because when I turned on this game, Greg, the first time, unboxed it, turned it on, he says, "Houdini's in the house."
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I think it fits.
Teases itself. It is lighthearted. It's fun, but it's still odd and quirky. And dare I say, this music? And it's like a techno steam.
That's what I'm saying. The more that you listen to it and you pay attention to it,
dude, the music,
the better it feels and the better it is. It's actually a lot more going on sound wise than what you think, because I think some of it's overshadowed by the countdown. Different things that really stand out. There's just things that don't stand out.
People are going
to
kill me for this. I'm going to get some hate. But the main theme and score of this, for me...
Oh my God, don't even say it.
For me, Greg...
I know what you already told me.
It's right there with TNA's main theme. I'm telling you, man. I will say...
Hate mail can be addressed to Z-Mini at...
I just love the feel of that score. But I will say TNA's better.
It is.
Okay. No hate needed there. Because Denise's work on TNA is just... I was listening to it in the car the other day. I wasn't even playing pinball.
Are you friends with Scott on Facebook or anything?
Yeah.
You won't be any longer, so he's going to defriend you.
I'm listening to his music in my car. Yeah. That's silly. I'm listening to pinball music in my car.
But he'd rather listen to Houdini soundtrack if he had that.
No, I said it was not as good as TNA. But I'm saying the musical score...
That's where you lost
is not forgettable. It is not forgettable.
It is not forgettable.
It is awesome.
Okay, and I'm busting Zach's balls. And what he said is completely ludicrous. But at the same time, I sort of agree with what you're saying. Like, if you really listen to that score again, I think it's overshadowed.
It's pumping. Yeah, it's
but
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I just picture hydraulic pumps. And I picture people banging hammers on stuff. But it's a beat. Oh, man.
It's neat. It really is nice.
No, you know what? That person right there is going to agree with me. And they're going to say, that's one of the main reasons I bought Houdini. Because I love that score.
I think it's nice. Okay. I wouldn't go that far. But...
Okay. Theme! So, magic. Does magic and pinball go well together?
Yeah.
It sure does.
I think it's really good.
When you think of magic, what do you think of?
Magic.
You probably think of David Copperfield.
No, Lance Burton.
Dude, I'm sorry, all the Lance Burton fans out there. I went to his Vegas show.
Was it terrible?
The shittiest show I've ever seen in my entire life.
He's kind of like a local guy. He's a Kentucky fella.
I'm sorry, Lance Burton. This guy had the shittiest show ever. Great. It felt 20 years. This is my mini review. It felt 20 years old. It looked like he was so sick and tired of doing this. And it was hokey. It was corny. I almost saw a forklift lift the car out. I mean, come on. It was horrible.
Magic has really progressed into such a spectacle.
Felt like I was back in the 80s.
Like, and his stuff is very much the David Copperfield kind of feel and everything. But
worst show in Vegas. Oh man.
Sorry, Lance.
So when we're thinking about Vegas shows, I'm thinking about Penn and Teller. Now,
but in general, Magic
goes great with pinball.
It does. Well, and Magic's not the forefront that it was years ago. No. It still has a very large following. And I still think
it's dated around the same time as pinball.
It very much is. That is very true. That you don't see the Magic specials anymore. Really, no. They're very the Illusions 5 Greatest Illusionist and all that.
But unlike pinball, I don't think Magic is making a comeback.
I think it could
with
it's just
CGI
not right
and
now.
stuff.
It's just not right now.
With CGI and stuff, people don't trust it now. People know that you can make anything look like anything.
Yeah, but if you see it live,
look at the Vine guy.
But if you see it
like
live,
with the Vine guy,
if you see it live.
Yeah, if you
I mean,
see it
yeah,
live.
that's what I'm saying. That's the majority of your Magic. So,
yeah.
I mean, did anybody believe about the freaking moving of the elephant and everything to begin with, and that there wouldn't, yeah, some of the David Blaine shit and everything, whatever with it. But theme wise, and regardless of whether you like Magic or not, it's Houdini. It's this historic. It's this neat thing.
We've got some cool. We got some cool '70s pinball machines. I think Abracadabra. There's Hocus Pocus. There's some cool magical, very classical themes. Mm-hmm. We've got Theater of Magic.
Fantastic.
The Trunk.
Not deep, but fantastic.
Fantastic game. We've got Pinball Magic. Mm-hmm. Very gimmicky.
Yes.
Not the deepest code, very gimmicky. No. Are there any other Magic games?
I have no idea.
Is this the best Magic pinball machine?
I think it could be. Easily.
What's better than it right now?
I think...
Watch this. I'm going to prove a point. I'm laying the groundwork right now. Hang in here, guys. What's the best?
I can't really name it. Like, I love the look of Theater of Magic.
Do you love the look of it?
I love it. When you LED that and you get it looking nice, I like the Theater of Magic a lot. I like the
one
little
of the
gimmicks.
Ugliest translite in pinball.
Yeah, but I like the gimmicks in there and everything. But
love those.
I can't say that it beats this.
I like the code.
Yeah.
But
it's not very deep.
Yeah.
But I can't say it beats this.
You can't, can you?
No.
No. What else?
No.
Anything else?
No.
What would you rather have right now, this or Theater of Magic?
This. Take this easily. I'm going to try to get on top of my car today.
Okay. This is, in my opinion, the best Magic-themed pinball machine. Not only because it is the best done. Is it better than Theater of Magic? It is.
I do think
it's better than Theater of Magic, guys.
I do think so. Mm-hmm. I like Theater of Magic.
I know so. But what I was going to say is, not only is it the best one, but it encapsulates the guy that with Magic, it's Houdini. Why is it? Bolster was like, why didn't anybody ever do this? Like, if you're making a Magic pin, why not the number one central character in Magic? It's Houdini.
Very true. Maybe they just didn't know what to do with it and how to convey it. But
yeah.
Like all the seance stuff, like that's the thing too, is that like
he was into that shit
historically, yeah. Because what Houdini did was he called out these fake psychics and bullshit. Right. Like that was one of his main missions. Mm-hmm. Like he hated that stuff. Right. Like that they were pulling tricks on people for money, but making them believe and change their lives around for that. So the historical value that they put into this is pretty cool
second to
with
none.
everything they did.
They
too.
teach you a lot about Houdini.
Yeah, they do.
So this theme for me is an A-. For you, it's higher.
What?
You're an A.
I'm an A.
Yeah.
But I like history and I like
Yeah.
magic and stuff. So
I do too.
It
Now,
resonates.
you know something nerdy? Back in the day, how old were you when it came to magic? You used to do magic.
Oh yeah.
I did too. How funny is that?
I had all kinds of tricks.
We were always showman, Greg.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to
Take this.
in our town. We had a little magic shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I would
and
love
in the
for that.
back room, they put on magic shows on
I
like
bet they
Saturdays
did.
at 1.
Is that what's wrong?
so wrong?
Did you go to one too many
It is
individual
so
magic
wrong.
shows?
So bad. It's so wrong, man. No, it
You're
wasn't even
I
that.
can see 23-year-old Greg with
No, but it was
zits on your face.
terrible. Can you believe
Mr.
this?
Houdini, Mr. Houdini, teach me the sleight of hand.
Hey,
the Svengali deck.
They would have.
The Svengali deck.
They
That's
were
true.
They were really
Oh, my
nice about showing you. You know, I bought Card College. Card College is one of the best books that you
I
can
bought
buy
the,
written on sleight of
I
hand.
loved this. Oh, man, I gotta say it now. The sponge balls.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the sleight of hand.
Yeah, that's so amateurish. My kids can do that. But yeah, I did. I think everybody in our age range went through a magic phase.
Yeah.
At some point as a kid, at
It's
some
fun.
age. Mine was maybe a little
You're a nerd.
older than others. You know, like.
Did you ever try to levitate? Did you ever try to do the levitation?
Oh, I tried
like
to-
with the feet.
So here's another.
This is
so-
great. Bear with us because we've not talked about this.
No, it's sorry to get off track on game
This
stuff.
magic, it's
I'll
fun.
I'll tell you the worst magic story that I have, and it was
you
when
messed
I
up
was
something.
first starting to dabble in it, and I was a young teenager, and I'd messed with magic a little bit when I was a kid, but not a lot. And so we're down in Orlando, Florida, and we're at downtown Disney, and there's this.
I remember that magic shop down there.
Yeah. So and there,
Yeah.
well, no.
There was a magic shop.
Well, I didn't go
down
to the magic. This was like a.
Oh, there's a
this
magic
wasn't a
shop there.
magic shop. This was like just like a. I don't know. They just sort of sold a bunch of little odd and ends, weird shit like souvenir type things
Okay,
and everything.
yeah.
So there's this guy that works there, and he's standing outside there, and he's got a playing card, and he's got 2 LEDs on each end of the playing
Okay,
card
I
because it's
remember
night.
those.
And he.
Those are like D-lights or something.
Yeah, he would. It was just literally like a bent LED, and you had a hearing aid battery in between them that powered them. But they were on each end of the card, and it gave the card some weight. And he was levitating the card and throwing the card from hand to hand, circling around it, moving his hands in between.
Oh
the
yeah,
cards.
where they do that. Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
and especially at night with the twirling LED, I was like,
You're like,
oh my god,
whoa.
he'd hand you the
I have
card.
to have that,
You
yeah.
can inspect the card. I'm like, this card's real. There's nothing there. And I was just like, this is fucking stellar.
Yeah.
So we were. I never grew up with money, so this thing cost like $35, and this was back in like
You're
the
like,
90s,
yeah.
or late 90s. So it was a decent chunk of money to
Yeah.
us. And so I thought about it the whole time. Like our last day, like our plane left at like noon or something. It's like 8 or 9 in the morning. We're laying out by the pool, getting ready to leave, and I just kept pondering about. My mom was like,
You want?
"Do you really want that thing?" And I was like, "Yeah."
You were
And she
worried
was
about
like,
the whole trip.
"Here's the money." I was tore up about it. So I run down there to that store. That dude's there. He's working behind the counter.
Yeah.
Like he pulls it out from behind the counter. It's not set on
Oh,
the counter.
man,
this
the
is like
special
this is
stuff.
bootlegged
Wow.
magic, right?
Okay,
here.
yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I go and I open this son of a bitch up and I get it home and I put in the VHS tape.
The VHS.
Yeah,
tape,
and
that's
it's
awesome.
like filmed with a camcorder.
Yeah.
Like
It
it's
was
him.
him. It was
yeah,
him.
it's him. And what it was like this super fine string. You actually
Yep.
had to pull it apart to get it, and then you used putty on it.
I
Like
remember.
to attach it to the card, and then you put balled up tape, and you put it in your mouth and
Yeah.
let it hang out of your mouth, or you could do it over the head, but like over the mouth was the easiest because you could levitate.
Yeah.
And then when it looked like you were over top the card, it was because it was in between your fingers.
That's right.
Or you could
Yeah, you
push
could-
it. Yeah, you could manipulate that string was so
because
thin.
people thought you were manipulating with your hands.
Yeah, and it
Oh
it was a very good illusion, but I was very depressed that. I spent $35 on
Most of
maybe-
those magic
Yeah.
tricks I was like that too. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that's
Yeah.
it. I've got to actually have skill. Like this sucks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't do magic.
Because once you learned it, though, it was very impressive. But I got gypped on it, and I felt very
We're
disappointed.
gonna move. Thanks for taking us down.
And I still
memory lane.
have it. I wish I'd have brought it
You,
today.
you have everything.
I could have done it for you.
I've got a box of magic tricks too.
I still got mine.
Different stripper decks. Remember the stripper decks? Not those stripper decks, guys. Stripper decks where some of the listen.
I said decks.
Decks!
That's what I said.
Decks!
Stripper decks. Just stop it. Don't tell us about your trick. Don't tell us about your trick.
All right, enjoyability. So this encompasses how much do you want it in your game room? Are there special magic things that happen that make you want to come back for more? That's what this is encompassing. I'm at an A, and I tell you what, this may easily be an A+ enjoyability for me. I got a lot of reasons why.
I'm an
What do you
A-.
think? Okay.
And I thoroughly enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I like the most about it is, like, we've sort of discussed this before.
Yeah.
That it's a pin that when I step up to it, I'm like, okay. I play it, then I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and to me, I feel that those are keeper pins for me. Because pins that I go up to and I'm really blown away with at first and I really like, with the exception of Dialed In. Dialed In,
That kept your...
it blew me away when I first touched it, and then it kept me there. But that's a rare exception with Dialed In. But most pins I go up to, and they are fun at the first, and I like them, get old very quickly.
Okay.
And
you know what? For me, Aerosmith kind of got a little stale.
yeah, same thing.
But
you step up to it, and it's like,
does it
okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
Guardians, if they don't fix that code and give me a little more, I can see that kind of... I love it still, but kind of getting a little stale for me.
I would take it home today. I told Zach, I said, if you ever go to get rid of this, before you sell it, let me take it home for 2 weeks. Yeah. Just to play it. Be
A lot of people, because on Pinside, I've been a little bit vocal about my enjoyment of this game. Didn't want to give too much away because I wanted this review. But a couple people are like, man, it's just a honeymoon phase. Like, chill out. And I'm aware of that. When I go to review these things, we don't want to bullshit these people. No. Like, if we're raving about a machine...
Happen. It could happen.
It could happen.
But you don't know what's going to wear off. But it's...
This feels like more to me.
It does feel like more.
It really does. It feels like more to me just because there's so much to do.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I'm just now getting the shots down a little bit. So now I'm opening up to be able to explore the code.
Once you get deeper in that, you see stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Special stuff.
So that's why I feel that it's not just the honeymoon phase. It's because of the depth of that code, what Josh put into it. I feel that it won't get old because of that.
All right, you ready for mine?
Yeah.
So where are you at in enjoyability? You're A-, I'm an A. People often say that I just rant and I say that I love something, but I can sometimes not back it up. Yeah. I'm going to back it up, Greg, with why I enjoy Houdini. Out of the box, it has flipper toppers. What other machine does that? Maybe some Jersey Jacks. You get some ruby red slippers and stuff. But they put that in there. You get purple silicone for the flippers themselves, not just black. Purple silicone and on the posts. Colored posts. Thank you. Thank you, American Pinball. You get an LCD screen, not one but two, and they both are implemented well. They're not just thrown up on a machine. Yes. One is part of a theater on your back glass, and one is part of a theater on your playfield. Yes. You get custom-made spotlights, back alley creations. Instead of ugly spotlights, you get some that look like canister lights from the theater.
And that's not cheap to produce, I'd say, to begin with, to have done.
It's unneeded. It's just for aesthetics.
Yes.
You get that. You get ornate lock pop bumpers. You're not going to get that ornate of pop bumpers on anything besides, I would say, a Jersey Jack.
JJP.
JJP is going to give you that. You get a catapult that throws the ball 22 inches into the air that never gets old. And it never misses. You get another catapult. You get magic targets that have magnets that swirl the ball around in unexpected ways. You get a subway on a contemporary machine. Thank you, manufacturers, for not forgetting about subways. I love subways. You get Easter eggs everywhere. Greg, I'm still uncovering the damn things.
Yes.
And it's not just Easter eggs. They are tributes to pinball players.
Yes.
There is a reason when I go to enter my name at the very end, I can't put ZLM, my initials, because the Z is missing. Yeah. And I said to myself, why is the Z missing? I talked to the guys that built this. There's a reason. And when you find out why, you're going to giggle. And I appreciate that.
Then there's, like you said, there's a ton of that type stuff in there.
Yes. There's targets, that there's a leaf target or leaf switch, and it's a certain width. Joe Balser said, why are we using this big old target when all we need is just the width of that switch.
Yeah, so they
that
cut
way
it
we
down.
get more room for people.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a first,
Yeah, it's a
maybe a
slimmer
first
target.
in pinball.
Yeah.
There's a wooden planchette, a handcrafted wooden planchette as a toy in there that lights up. There is a ball save, you guys. Ball save modes, instead of just draining, if you can get into the mystery shop, and I'm going to keep going because this is the reason that I bought Houdini. In the ball save, or in the mystery magic shop, thank you. You can get awarded the ball save modes. So you have to get them timed just right. If you're going out the out lane, you got to have it lit. But if you do, there's 2 modes. One of them, you have 30 or 40 flips to hit all seance targets to keep your ball alive. A second chance, if you will. And then the other one, Escape from Death, I think. You get 30 seconds. And in that 30 seconds, you have to hit all the escape targets.
Yeah.
And then you can keep your... simple coding and care to the pinball player like that keeps it going for me. You've got inverted flippers.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? There's a mode on here, and they're in mode, so it's not like I'd hate to see what the wizard mode's going to be like.
Yeah.
They're just typical modes where the flippers, they stay up,
And you got to push
and then they
for it to go-
swap.
Yeah.
They swap. So
Yeah.
you're crossed, and they stay up, so you have to hold them down to come down.
And isn't there a ball save on these for the flippers?
What do you mean?
Didn't Josh say that so that you wouldn't screwed over when they switched back?
No, there's no switching. That's Ghostbusters. That's what's nice. He said he didn't want to do that. Yeah, you don't.
No, but I'm talking about when it goes from invert back to normal flippers.
Yep.
is
When
what
it
I'm
goes,
talking-
good point. Yeah.
So that way you're not screwed
And
over
you know what?
like some games.
I use that sometimes, and every time it happens, I think I really appreciate that. That's a good call, right there.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
I'll lose that last ball because I'm doing
Yeah.
all this stuff, and it's like, all right, we'll give you your ball back to start your regular gameplay
Yeah.
again. Love that. You've got the unique head on it that grows on you, that really grows on you. You've got special modes. So for me, these special modes, man, I went into it's like a hurry up mode. It's one of the jail mode, or no, it might have been a jail mode. So very unassuming mode, but after you hit the 3rd shot of that mode, Houdini, you're trying to get him to escape from the asylum, and the GI goes black. It goes like a wizard mode, but this is a mode, Greg. The GI goes black, and all of a sudden you see Houdini on the screen trying to escape this asylum with spotlights on him.
Yeah, it's really.
There's 3 shots on the playfield. One of them is the correct one. And Kugler said, if you look just right up at that, he'll show you. Houdini will show you what shot to make. But then the GI spotlights the playfield, and they go
moves
around.
just
Yeah,
like
like you're looking for it. That is a cool mode.
It really is cool.
Inverted flippers mode. You've got all of these cool modes. And then last but not least, the fun that they're having in this pin. The historical information they're bringing is a breath of fresh air in pinball. It really is. Because we get something unique and different than a superhero game.
I like it because I'm a history nerd.
But they're having fun in a sense because they poke fun at the other manufacturers. And you guys will see the video right now. But they pull up in the mystery. He'll go down. He'll grab your mystery award. But sometimes he's going to grab something like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man head that's
all
melting.
burnt up, yeah.
And he says, who you going to call? Not that guy.
Amazing how many things this hat can hold. Ugh, that is one ugly alien. Let's see what else we have. Let's try that again. 20 seconds of ball save. Amazing how many things this hat can hold. Nuclear annihilation. Good pinball, bad for our future. Let's try that again. Extra ball is lit.
You can tell that they put their heart and soul into the pen, and they had a
truly
good
did.
time doing it. Like it just wasn't like I'm getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to make.
They
This
may not have
something
even got a
special.
paycheck. This is
Yeah.
a startup company.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Who knows? It's
Yeah.
the truth. But I think it's $7,000.
Oh, that's
The
a
way
good
the
point.
market is, this is an $8,000 to $9,000 pin. The way the market is.
It stacks up, yeah.
And so I think that's what's going to help sell these machines is everything that you just listed for $7,000.
For $7,000.
Yeah, I think that you can't go wrong.
It's a great value. It's crazy saying that anything at $7,000 is a great value, but if they keep cranking these things out at $7,000,
But in the pinball world,
there's no reason not to buy
that's
one.
right. Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
I agree.
It is phenomenal. Get those bugs fixed and stuff like
agree.
that. All right, so let's talk about the overall rating. We compiled this all. I'm at an A- at a 3.79. I am great with that.
I'm at a
score.
B plus.
You're at
I feel
B+.
it's a B+ game. I feel that it's above
3.53.
average game.
You had it ranked pretty high, man.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
It's
fun
that
of a
good.
game.
It's that
Yeah.
good. It really is. Pros and cons. Pros, we listed them. Value. The price, actually, we usually talk price as a con. But for this, I think it's kind of a pro.
Pros are everything we listed.
Yeah.
Just about.
Cons, what don't you like about this? For me, there's bugs.
There's
Fix
bugs,
the bugs.
but it's just shipping. So that doesn't bother me too much, but it's still a con. Con, it's a new pin.
New manufacturer.
And a new manufacturer.
We're not bullshitting.
No,
we told those guys, like, one of the things that you're going to have to get over is this is new. Like, can we trust American Pinball?
Yeah.
I don't.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. And let's be honest, let's not bullshit. These guys came out of the gate in not a great way.
No.
And we won't even talk about that. You guys can look it up yourself. But just associating themselves, I think they didn't know. They didn't know better. They got Joe Balser in there and fixed things up a bit. But
yeah.
So
a lot. Fix things up a lot, not a bit.
A lot.
To fix things up a lot.
Very fair. They had to scrap this entire machine.
Yeah.
The entire machine and do something else.
And
in a short period of time.
But as far as they went in that time frame is amazing.
There's plenty of sleepless nights, I guarantee you.
I still have some worrisome.
I do. I have reservations too.
But it's nowhere near like Highway. And
that's interesting. That's a bold statement coming from you.
I like Alien a lot.
I know you do.
I like Alien a whole lot. But I'm way more terrified of Highway. And not just because they're overseas or anything, but I think that all of that was so negative, and all the lying, the no refunds, all of that. I think that a lot of that stuff is what kept Alien out of some of the Twippies categories. I think that that's what's going to ultimately hurt sales. Whereas this
hurt people.
Yeah.
How much did you have to pay for this and wait? How long did you have to wait for your $7,000 that you were scared you're going to lose?
No, you didn't.
You didn't.
No, you didn't.
No.
So
they never made people. They didn't even make people pay for the $250 deposit. That was a distributor.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. So I feel better about this in American than what I do Highway.
This game is shipping it right at a year.
Yeah. And
that's
sales, people seem to share that sentiment for the most part, because sales seem like they're taking off pretty well.
Yeah, if you guys want a Houdini, get in there.
Yeah, and
tell them Sdtm sent you.
Yeah,
Ding.
with Larry flipping
Not
out.
that we get paid for it, but it does.
No.
It does help prove that that people actually take our opinions seriously.
Yeah, they take mine, not yours, but it's all good.
I only point you in the directions of good pins, so it's fine.
I just point you in the direction of a pinball machine.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean only time will tell. We can't say back
still
or
scary.
forth. Yeah.
And we're doing this for you guys.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to protect you. That would be my only hesitancy. But what we can say from being up there is that everything's brand new. It's nice seeing on the assembly line. I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't look like there's blood on that. Like somebody died on that.
Yeah, everything is fresh and brand. Yeah, it's nice.
Everything's
it's
organized
nice
very well.
Yep.
It's small.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be any bigger.
You can tell they were tweaking things to accommodate and because you learn.
It looked like everything I was looking for, but they're new. They're still new.
You're gonna learn, and I don't know. As long as they don't do anything stupid, I don't think there's anything. And as long as this pin functions well, then
I thought I'd have to tweak it out of the box.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that this is going to sell, and I think they'll go on to game number 2 easily.
They're excited about that one too.
Yes, yeah, they're already talking about it, getting ready to work it up and everything.
They wouldn't let us have it though, would they?
No,
they wouldn't. They wouldn't tell us.
We tried talking a little bit.
We said we won't tell. I promise. We don't have thousands of people that watch these videos.
Yeah. So I think as long as they don't do something stupid, then I think this game is going to be a hit, and I think that it will allow them to go into game number 2 successfully.
This game to me is already a hit.
I think so. I think so. But
if you're buying a new machine right now, what are you buying? You buying Alien? You buying Pirates of the Caribbean? I want a Pirates of the Caribbean.
But this is my thing.
But you want $9,500.
I want $9,500.
That's what hurts me.
Pirates. Yeah.
You want a Guardians?
No.
Well, do you want an Aerosmith? Do you want Star Wars? I'd take them all, but
yeah.
if you were going to designate some money, what are you buying?
I'd buy this. And
I
that's no
would
bullshit
too.
just because it's in this video. Like it would, at the price point, I I'm excited to see what Spooky does with Alice, because Alice comes in a little
TNA.
cheaper.
I would like a TNA.
Yeah, I like TNA a lot, but I just don't want to own it right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to own any of these because I'm too broke.
I think I'll own a TNA soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You about bought one not too long ago.
Yeah.
But Alice Cooper would be the only thing that would maybe be there, but I just, like, we know nothing about it, but price point is good for me.
What is, I think price point is
6 something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not far off. It's
7 feels good.
I know.
It's tough. It's tough, guys. It's tough because this is a good game. Maybe you wait a little bit until or maybe just get one now and play and have a lot of fun. That's what I did, and I'm loving every second of it.
Now, if I had, I will tell you, I still want a Pirates, and I would take a Pirates.
God, I want a Pirates too.
But the problem is Pirates is a little bit more money, quite a bit more money.
2,500 more.
Yeah. And like that sucks. That's still quite a bit of money, you know? And especially if I had a collector's Pirates.
I don't have the money to spend $9,500 on a pinball machine. No. I don't really have $7,000.
Because Pirates is more loaded, but the price reflects the difference between these two pins.
$2,500?
Well, maybe not.
$2,500. This thing is
you got a whole
loaded.
ship, and the second play field is pretty.
You got
cool.
a catapult, throws the ball 22. You've got a
but you're shooting a ball with a cannon. It's not. I will tell you this: like, I like the shooting of the cannon, but this is a little bit more. The ball gimmick in this is a little bit better than Pirates because
it doesn't go as far.
Yeah, it's just such a short thing. It's still really cool, but it's not as visually. Wow!
I could do a lot with $2,500, Greg.
Oh, I could do a whole lot.
You know what I want to do? Just buy them both.
I agree.
That's what you need to do. Buy them both. Buy a TNA, buy a Pirates of the Caribbean, buy a Houdini.
I just don't think
and then buy the newest Stern machine.
I just don't think you can go wrong with this at the price point. I guess I got to concede to what you were saying and say yes. If there was a pen right now that I was going to go buy brand new, it'd be this.
You guys heard it here first. All right, what do these people need to know about Straight Down the Middle? We're a Twippy Award winner.
We are a Twippy Award winner
for YouTube.
It was very exciting, very unexpected. We were happy to make it in the top 3.
I know.
And then there was.
I was like, dude, we got it. Made it in top 3.
Shocked.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. We're kind of humbled.
But I'm happy about it because we put a lot of work into it. We spend a lot of money doing it. Like it's a lot of, you spend hours and hours on editing and just little pictures and the video play and everything, and
connections, talking to people, trying to figure out stuff for
talking
the
to
fans.
people all the time. We do a lot of work. Like, we try to respond to everybody that we can that comments and everything.
That's the best part of this is just the fans and talking to them. Trying to get that groundwork of finding information. So check out our other YouTube videos. Thanks for voting for us for the Twitties.
And one of the greatest things.
What?
We picked up a new sponsor.
That's right. You guys seen it at the beginning of this video.
Marco Specialties.
Marco Specialties. So we had a big spiel at the beginning of this. So thank you, Marco, for joining the Sdtm team.
Yeah.
Check us out real quick. I was going to tell the people where and when and how they can see Marco's. They're at upcoming shows, and we're going to be hanging out at their booth as well, aren't we, Greg?
Yeah, they'll be at they're at Louisville with Larry again, aren't they? Where they have this whole promotional thing with extra machines and stuff that are at the show.
Yeah. So they're going to Louisville Arcade Expo the March 2nd and through 4th. They'll be there. Then they're going to be at Arcade Expo in Banning, California from March 16th through March 18th. We're not going to be able to make that one. But we are going to make the Texas Pinball Festival in Frisco, Texas. That's going to be March 16th through the 18th as well. That's their next 3 shows. We're going to be there. If you guys need pinball parts.
Yeah. And I'll tell you
Marco.
what, no bullshit with this, just because we're close. But Louisville show is really growing, and it is a fantastic show.
Yeah, come on out. We're going to be there and hanging out.
Now, there's no big unveilings or anything like you get in Chicago or
Or
Texas.
will they be?
Yeah, us.
That's right.
But, I mean, you're still going to get to play a Pirates there. You get to play a Houdini there. So you still got all that. There'll be a Guardian. I'm sure, that there'll be a Guardians there or something at some point. But, I don't
Come
know.
hang out. Hang out.
It's a fun, there's a lot of pins, a lot of arcades.
Flipping Out's always got all the Jersey Jacks, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Flipping Out runs that show.
Houdini.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So.
And say hi to us. And when you're there or right now, whenever you get done with this video, you guys saw the Franchi artwork logo that we just threw to you.
Oh my God, why did we almost...
They saw that. They saw at the beginning. So, buy one of those. Help support our cause. Help support what we're trying to do here. Twitch. Chuck Work.
Yeah, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m.
Man, he's going to keep on doing those big old deluxe tutorials.
I've been streaming more.
You've been doing
solidified.
good, buddy.
Yeah, I used to
Nice
stream
job.
earlier, 5:30 or so.
Check out my Houdini streams, as well as any other new machines I'm going to get in. America's Most Haunted needs to get some stream play.
Yeah.
We've got Facebook. Like us on Facebook. And while you guys are at it, our buddy Larry at Flipping Out Pinball, please do this for us. Please go to his Facebook page and like it. Follow him on that because that helps him out a lot. And he gives you updates on machines and different things. Do that for us as
I like it
well.
when his feed pops up on my Facebook.
That's right. Pin Stadium, Pin Graphics, do that for them, and Marco as well.
Yeah.
Marco's on Twitter too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I need to get on Twitter.
We're not tweet heads, are
No,
we?
it's so much more to keep track of.
No, I can't do
It's just
it.
more.
Buy a t-shirt. We love you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes.
This is Straight Down the Middle with Zach and Greg. We'll see him next week, right?
Hopefully.
Come to Louisville.
You hit it off with the bumper, now you're straight down the middle again. You had a fling with a slingshot, you're rolling out the outlet again.
My friend. All right. So what we're gonna do, like I was telling Josh, I appreciate you being on film. First off, that's really nice. You didn't have to. You can tell me to piss off if you wanted to.
Piss off then.
There you go. You didn't have to do
And you're
it.
lucky because typically that is what he tells people.
So you taste
Cola.
like, what'd you say? What was you bitching about?
Oh
It
my,
tastes
dirty
like,
sewer water.
It's like, man, I can't go.
I you know what? This is no bullshit, guys. I tried coffee the first time 3 weeks ago in my entire life.
Really?
What's
Hey.
what's wrong with it? No beer, no coffee.
Yeah, I did not.
I'm a weird dude.
I don't know, man.
I'm a weird dude.
Watching you guys
What can I say? I'm a
watching
weird
you guys on YouTube, there's no coffee involved.